Big screen?
On big screen.
I saw it. I'll look to see what it is. I know it's not for like another month, but I was so interested. Like,
I totally would do that.
Especially two, dude. Like, I'm like, man, two? That would be good. I'll let you know what day it is.
All right.
I think it's on a Monday or something like that.
So Robbie's out of the country during the Mayor's Ball.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
But he usually goes, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I'm screwed. I was tempted to ask Robin, but
For
angry just to see, I don't know.
what she says.
Just be like, I can't afford a table, but could you give me 2 tickets? She'll be like, yeah, it'll be $1,000. How much are they?
They don't even sell individual tickets.
Really? So who do you sit with?
I don't sit. They have a table like for like
What do you mean you don't sit?
the church because I'm in the back doing announcements all the time on the system.
Yeah, introducing people and stuff.
That doesn't even say how much they are on here.
That's scary.
Because I think the only way you can get like they don't sell individual tickets; it's all sponsored tables.
Right.
And so everything's a sponsored table. It's like $5,000 a table.
And everybody is there. Yeah. Nice. Nice. What's the cost of our tournament? Is it $1,000? Is it $250 a player?
Yes.
Right? $250 a player, right?
Yes.
We need to start pumping that up. Have they talked about any numbers? How many groups we got so far?
Oh, no.
Did you see that Tiger Fight is that Friday?
Yeah, it typically is.
And they've been advertising since November.
Well,
They don't fuck around.
because I get their email too, though. That says, "Hey, look, Lauren texted me and said."
Skidmore?
She says, "Now I've got to do media interviews on what Zach said."
What'd he say?
Master test, not Scrivener.
Oh. I was about to say, is this you?
Oh, yeah. That's her name. Brought that by from me yesterday or Wednesday.
Aqua Willie?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Now make sure you leave the house when you make the call. You understand me? You hear me? Call from an outside line. I mean it.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant good afternoon to you, wherever you may be, however you may be listening, or however you may be viewing. For those subscribing on YouTube, it's the Ralph Bailey Show. On a Friday, 23rd day of January, we got a busy show to go into the cold weekend. Chris Burdick producing the broadcast. Jasmine Baines erroneously implies that the U.S. attorney was here on her behest. You'll hear Donnie Youngblood poo-poo the congressional candidate's assertions or implications that she summoned Eric Grant to Bakersfield to probe the Scrivener situation. We'll unpack that in just a second. Irma Carson lying in state till 5 this afternoon. We'll give you the details of her service going on tomorrow. The legend in this community, former Bakersfield School District member for years, former city council, the first black woman, and the first black woman to serve as a police officer on the Bakersfield Police Department. Rick Bentley at the bottom of the hour. It's Friday. And, of course, Brandon Lang winding down the NFL season. The Seahawks hosting the Rams. The Rams are 2.5-point underdogs. And New England heads to Denver to take on a Bo Nix-less Bronco team. I got big money on this thing, Burdick. You know that money I said I won on Indiana?
Yeah.
Well, I let it ride on New England because I thought, because we got down early, I thought 4.5, it jumped to 7 by game time, at least 6. Stayed right at 4.5. We'll talk about that. Got some audio from Coco Gauff as she advances to the 3rd round. The Australian Open is advancing. No big upsets thus far, either on the men's or the women's side. And we will debunk the viral lie that the Democrats are putting forward that the 5-year-old that I'm sure you all are acquainted with, either through the picture or the story itself, Democrats and liberals insisting that the boy was used as a lure to catch his father. Absolute lie. And my thesis on this, you'll hear from the ICE EAD, the Employment Authorization Document Officer, Marcos Charles. But here's my theory on this, why they've created this lie. They're looking for their George Floyd. You know what I'm saying? They're looking for their face that can represent what they believe is wrong about ICE. They tried with the Maryland man. Remember the Maryland man? Remember that? Oh, he's just a Maryland father. And then we found out that he was a Venezuelan thug who was beating up his wife. Remember that? Then, of course, it was Renee Good. She never hit the ICE agent. And then the narrative changed. Well, she hit the ICE agent, but it was like being hit by a refrigerator door. And then DHS reports that the man suffered internal injuries, internal bleeding. You see what I'm saying? And now it's this 5-year-old. I heard Anna Navarro say it on The View this morning. I heard AOC say it. It's like they all are connected and the talking points go out. The key word today is bait. Oh, he was used as bait. Oh, this 5-year-old they uses bait. It's not true. It's completely a lie, and we'll debunk that. But we do begin with Jasmeet Bains. She released a statement yesterday, as we chronicled, and following up what KGT was reporting, that she basically implied, without saying, that she was the one, her request to the AG's office to re-examine the Zach Scrivener case. By the way, if there's anybody in Jasmeet Bains' office listening, Mr. Scrivener spells his name Z-A-C-K, not Z-A-C-H. Come on. You're an assemblywoman. You're trying to run for Congress, and you can't spell the supervisor's name right? Really? Anyway, former copy editor, excuse me. We talked with Sheriff Donnie Youngblood yesterday. As many of you know, we were talking about the murder rate, and we asked him about this and whether it was true or not. And Sheriff Donnie Youngblood absolutely poo-pooed any assertion that it was Jasmeet Bains that brought Eric Grant, the U.S. attorney here, or that it was about Zach Scrivener.
The U.S. attorney, I met with him yesterday, had nothing to do with the Scrivener case. The U.S. attorney is relatively new. He was going to meet with the DA. He was going to meet with, had met with the chief of police. Has absolutely nothing to do with the Scrivener case that I'm aware of.
See what happens in the middle of an election? She's trying to run for Congress. That's what this is all about, garnering attention for this thing. And if, in fact, because despite what the sheriff says, and I'm not calling anybody dishonest, but don't you think it's kind of weird? How many counties are there, Chris? What, 58? 58. 58. Why us? Why us? Did he go to 57 other counties and shake hands and take pictures with their DAs? I'm just asking. Just asking. Seems a little strange. Why Kern County? And further, if in fact he was here to re-examine the Scrivener situation, would they admit it? Would they really have like a press conference and say, yes, I'm here sniffing around, seeing if we can redo what Joe Penny screwed up? Since A, we didn't charge Mr. Scrivener with a sexual crime, and B, we didn't even refute the defense's forensic psychologist. Do you really think they're going to say that? Meantime, I also asked Sheriff Youngblood, why would Jasmine Baines imply that Mr. Grant was, oh, Mr. Grant? Do you know what that's from?
Nah, one's over me.
I hate you, Burdick. 31-year-old. Mary Tyler Moore. Mr. Grant. Do you even know who Mr. Grant is? Lou Grant? God, I despise you. You don't know who Lou Grant is.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think I've seen a single episode of the Mary Tyler Moore Show.
We are old people. We are old. This child doesn't even know who Lou Grant is. Man had his own series after Mary Tyler Moore, which I thought was, no, I'm not gonna say it. Anyway, do we play the motivation clip? I got off the freeway.
The next one was coming up was that Scrivener's name never came up.
Okay. Number 2? That's the motivation one, I thought. Oh, no, you're right. Here's Donnie Youngblood.
I can't tell you what the Assemblywoman Baines is trying to do, but I can tell you I personally met with the U.S. Attorney and two other people, and had the name Scrivener never came up.
Never came up. But would it have? Is that right? Would it have? Yes. Would it have? I don't know, maybe. I don't know how it works. I also asked the sheriff yesterday if he thought that this would, in fact, be re-examined by the AG's office.
I can tell you that the FBI asked for the reports 2 or 3 weeks ago. I provided them to them. I didn't ask whether they were going to investigate it or not. In fact, I told them I didn't want to know. It's none of my business whether they are or they are not. You asked for the reports, here they are.
And finally, I asked the sheriff about Kathy Scrivener. And you heard me lead the show yesterday with my assertion or belief or thesis that had Kathy Scrivener just gone away and had not sent an email responding to 17's story and put the sheriff in a position to have to defend himself and his deputies, who essentially Kathy Scrivener was calling a liar when they said she encouraged the grandchildren of hers and Mr. Scrivener's children not to talk to law enforcement. Here's what the sheriff had to say.
I think had she not said anything, we wouldn't be where we're at.
That's
Had
exactly
I not
what I said.
responded to what she said, we wouldn't be where we're at.
That's
But I have
exactly.
an obligation to the officers that work for me to defend their integrity and their honor when it's justified, and I will do that every time.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. I'm glad you agreed with me. Yeah, isn't that crazy? And I think charges, or at least call for retirement or acquitting off the school board as a trustee, is going to happen. Remember, I predicted it was going to erupt at the last trustee meeting, and that was my own arrogance because we had just broken the story with the sheriff that afternoon, and the meeting was that night at 6 o'clock. And I somehow in my mind thought everybody would know about it by 6 o'clock that night. They didn't even they didn't talk about it. Nobody even brought it up. Well, now, as that week went on, 17 got a hold of the story. We were the lead story one night. Channel 23 got a hold of the story. The Los Angeles Times quoted Mr. Sheriff Youngblood. The New York Post put a picture of Zach next to Mr. Epstein. And so this thing started getting momentum. And again, I think there are a couple of questions. If, in fact, they're examining this thing again, would they really tell us they were doing that? And they couldn't be working with the DA's office on this, right? She's recused herself. She can't be involved in this. So even if they were, they wouldn't be talking with Cynthia Zimmer, right? She's his aunt. Well, that was the whole point, that she was recused. And that recuses the whole office. It's like the Fonnie Willis thing. If the DA can't do it, the whole office gets tossed. Again, this is pure speculation. Only Eric Grant and I guess Rob Bonta really know why he was here, although they did put out a statement. The principal purpose of Mr. Grant's visit was to confirm the long-standing and productive partnership among his office and Kern County law enforcement agencies. Okay, I understand that. He do that in 57 other counties, though. And again, you have to be left asking the question, why us then? If not for Scrivener, why us? Just a routine visit, huh? Out of all the 58 counties in the great state of California, U.S. Attorney Eric Grant decided to come here, but ain't got nothing to do with Scrivener. Just making a welcome call. Just introducing myself. Yeah, okay, all right. Been to Riverside? Been to San Bernardino? I don't know. You talked to Hopeman down in LA? I'm just asking. Let's go, Chris. When we come back, the legend is lying in state as we speak. Irma Carson will be laid to rest tomorrow. We'll give you the details on how you can attend and where the service will be held. Mr. Bentley, sitting in with Chris Burdick as we speak, joins us at the bottom of the hour. We're off to New York City, talk with our friend Brandon Lang. Who you got?
Denver, Seattle.
Denver?
Mm-hmm.
Can I have a little piece of that?
You want to?
You think Denver's going to beat New England?
Big play here, or big thing here that no one's talking about. New England this year was 28th in pass protection. Guess where Denver is in pass rushing?
Numero uno.
Exactly.
And number one in fewest points. They've got a solid D.
And guess what Seattle's got too? Now, the Seattle pick is the one that I'm really not really confident in.
Well, this is great because I got New England Rams.
You really?
I do.
Right, cool.
I do. Remember, I had Rams Bills in the Super Bowl.
Mm.
So I'm sticking with my Rams. And I'm going with the Pats, the Patriots. Quick timeout. We're just getting started. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on a 70-degree Friday. And guess what it's going to be tomorrow? When I can play golf. 56 degrees is the high, which means it's 40-something degrees at like 8, 9 o'clock. So guess what I'm doing tomorrow? Cleaning my bathtub.
Oh, that's something you should do.
Thank you, Chris. You sound like my mother. We are just getting started on a Friday. It's TRBS. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KRN. We're streaming live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m.
Last question. What is your favorite thing to do as an 8-year-old?
As an 8-year-old.
Hurry up. You only got 30 seconds. Play volleyball. Not hang out with dad. Not come on dad's
Like
radio show. Not.
Because I hardly do it.
No, I
I've
got
asked you a million times and you're just like, no.
All the fun stuff I do with dad. No, just play volleyball.
Weekdays at 2 p.m. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
You know, oddly, one of the things that I rarely talk about when I talk about KC Steakhouse is lunch. If you work downtown, if you work for the county or wherever on Truxton, it's not very far and it's real quick and it's very convenient. And the menu is similar, just smaller portions, and it is outstanding. And the variety on the menu that Chef Daniel has put together now is simply unbelievable. It's mostly a large groups that come to KC Steakhouse. And not everybody's feeling red meat. to celebrate someone's birthday or an anniversary or whatever the event may be. And that's why Chef Daniel advanced the menu. So there's Italian
For
food.
you?
I love the fettuccine Alfredo with chicken. The lobster
I had
mac and
it.
cheese is everybody's favorite. The fish dishes, the mahi-mahi, the swordfish, the halibut.
Already?
Where would you rather be than on F Street? And don't forget about the Stockyard next door for meetings, banquets, or just having dinner and having some of the craft cocktails that are served next door. It's Casey's Steakhouse, longtime sponsors of the Ralph Bailey Show.
Progressive's accident response can detect and send help when you need it most, after a major car accident. But other accidents, you're on your own. Like when you accidentally call your wife Mom. When you accidentally say Happy Holidays on someone's birthday. When you accidentally wave at someone you thought was waving at you. We can't help with those accidents, but Progressive's accident response provides peace of mind after major car accidents. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Limited availability in California. Driver is responsible for emergency and towing charges not covered by the policy.
It's a new year. Ready for a fresh start or career reboot? At My Computer Career, prep for a more recession-resistant future in the high-demand fields of IT, cybersecurity, in months, not years, including AI. Whether you're starting out or switching careers, no prior training is needed. Attend school online from home or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu to take the free career evaluation today. mycomputercareer.edu, an elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Carpet Outlet Plus. Every day is sale day. No one can beat us, no one can touch us. You won't find better prices. Shop and compare, we don't care. Take a look our way and come into Carpet Outlet Plus. Every day is sale day.
Carpet Outlet Plus installed over 1 million square feet of flooring last year alone. Over 20 years of Bakersfield's best flooring store means you can trust us with your hardwood, laminate, vinyl, and of course, carpet. Come in today to see over 100 waterproof floors from our in-stock inventory. It's probably been time to change your floors for a while, so call, click, or stop by today. Your free in-home estimate is waiting for you. Carpet Outlet Plus, 3.5 blocks west of 99 on Rosedale Highway.
Carpet Outlet Plus. Every day is sale day.
The Armstrong and Getty Show, weekdays noon to 2 on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show.
842-5376, 842-KERN. Guess who sent me a text message with information about prostate cancer and said, your 4-3 isn't that bad. Take a look at this information. And I returned the text. I said, yeah, I'm aware of that, but Dr. Cothry's concern is that it suddenly jumped. Because if you remember the story, initially on just a routine blood test, my PSA jumped from a 2.2 to 3.7. Thought it was an infection, put me on antibiotics, went back down to 2.5. Had a follow-up, and most recently it jumped to 4.3. And as I was explaining to who texted me, that's what he's most concerned about, that it jumped so dramatically, not the number itself. And so I'm back on antibiotics, and we'll see in about 2 months. But guess who texted me with that information?
Who's Gil?
Think recent. Well, that's a good guess. But think recent.
Recent. Traco?
Sheriff Donnie Youngblood.
Oh.
Wasn't that nice of him?
That was very nice of him.
It's like 8:30 this morning. He's like, he sent me the information. He said, look, your 4.3 isn't that bad. And I was like, thanks for trying to, alleviate my fears, but it's about the jump and the number, not the number itself. But to be honest with you, I was afraid a little bit initially, but I'm not that concerned. Again, as most physicians will tell you, most men over 60 are going, at some point, if you live long enough, are going to get prostate cancer. And it's just a matter of whether you catch it, early or not. And we caught this extremely early. And there will not be any surgery if, in fact, I have prostate cancer. It'll just be radiation, which I didn't even ask, but doesn't sound very pleasant, but certainly beats going under the knife. But, and the only reason I talk about this is so I can get you guys to know your numbers, go see a physician, get your blood drawn, at least 2 or 3, 4 times a year if you're over 45, 50 years old. That's my suggestion. Meantime, the legend lies in state at Kane AME Church until 5 o'clock. Irma Carson, the woman who broke so many glass ceilings in this town and was important to my career and to so many other folks, and not in any way like she got me a job, but as a young reporter that was bouncing around City Hall and didn't really know what the hell he was doing, she, would send me in certain directions. And I wouldn't use her as a source, but I'd use her kind of as a background source. You know what I mean? Like I'd say something like, hey, Irma, I heard this. Do you know if this is true or not? Stuff like that. Because she was so knowledgeable. And as most of you know, she was on the school board. She's the first Black woman to be a sergeant or a police officer for the Bakersfield Police Department. First African-American woman on the city council. Hasn't been one since. And just an absolute living legend and just a really fine woman. She really was. I really, really liked Irma. And tomorrow, the service will take place at St. John Missionary Baptist Church on Brundage Avenue. And for some reason, I don't have a time. I do not have a time for the service. I know there's a celebration of life after she lays in state tonight at 5:30 at Kane AME. But for some idiotic reason, I do not have the time of tomorrow's service. But it is at St. John Missionary Baptist Church on Brundage. She was a really cool woman. She really, really was. 842-5376, 842-KERN. Anything on the board before we get Mr. Bentley in here?
I just got one here that says, hi, Ralph. There is a federal grand jury that anybody can refer to Scribner's case to. I think their office is located in Fresno. The downtown federal courthouse could point anybody in the right direction.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, that's good information. Kendra is calling, and I bet she's got a time for me. Please stand by. She says 10. The service for Irma tomorrow is at 10 at St. John Missionary Baptist Church on Brundage. Thank you, Kendra. Living legend. She was. She was an absolute living legend. She truly was. She was a great woman. She really was. Rick Bentley joins us in just a second after the break. Coming up at the top of the hour, we're off to New York City. What do we got left? With 2 left with Brandon?
Today and maybe
championship
Super Bowl
games, and I think he'll come through with the Super Bowl.
Oh, I'm sure he'll come through for Super Bowl, but it depends. Do you want him next week though with Pro Bowl, or do you want him 2 weeks?
No, 2 weeks. The Friday before the game. Give him a week off. How are they doing the Pro Bowl this year?
It's the same stupid games.
Yeah, flag.
Yeah, it's flag.
I have no desire to watch that. Crazy. Nobody can figure out the All-Star thing. Except
All-Star games in general are just obsolete.
Yeah, baseball's the only one that's figured it out. Home Run Derby's pretty cool. Quick timeout. KGT Entertainment Report, Rick Bentley with the Oscar nominees.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180.
Hello, sir. I got to go pound the paper.
With us are news. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. The U.S. military says it's carried out a deadly strike on a vessel accused of trafficking drugs in the eastern Pacific Ocean. It's the first since the raid that captured Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro earlier this month. U.S. Southern Command said Friday on social media that the boat was engaged in narco-trafficking operations and that the strike killed 2 people and left 1 survivor. Forecasters say over half the U.S. population could be affected by snow, ice, or bitter cold as a winter storm sweeps across the country. The storm is forecast to bring snow, sleet, and ice from Texas to New England. Forecasters warn the damage could rival a hurricane, especially in areas hit by ice. On Wall Street, the Dow down by 285, the NASDAQ rose 65. This is SRN News.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
The gas leak in Wasco is under control, say authorities there. It caused people to have to be evacuated this morning after an oil well fire near the Wasco-Kern County Airport. That's because methane, which is highly dangerous, was affecting the air around the fire and subsequent leak. The Alan Booth trial will continue Tuesday with the defense presenting their case. This is his misdemeanor DUI trial. Right after this is the felony trial in which Booth is accused of driving at 3 times the legal limit and running into several people at the Bakersfield Christmas parade in 23. A 78-year-old man in an electric wheelchair was hit and killed just before 6 last night on Lake Isabella Boulevard in Lake Isabella. Police say the driver was cooperative. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on FM 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
It's that man again, Ralph Bailey for Sangera Subaru. It's a new year, so why not get into the new Subaru that you put off in 2025? And just because it's a new year doesn't mean the guys over at Sangera Subaru have slowed down. So if an SUV is what you've been leaning towards, then how about leasing a 2025 Outback Premium CVT for only $229 a month for 36 months and just $4,800 due at signing? Let me say that again. $229 a month for a brand new Outback. And the offer ends February 2nd. So stop by and see my good friends Damon Culbertson and Hassan Levy. Pick out your new Outback and hit the road. And remember, every Subaru comes standard with symmetrical all-wheel drive. Sangera Subaru, paving the way for a better community. 5,500 gasoline alley drive in the Bakersfield Auto Mall.
February 2nd, 2026. Lease 2025 Outback Premium CVT model code STD-13 for $229 a month for 6 months. $4,800 due at lease signing plus tax and license. Security deposit 10,000 mile year limit. 15 cents per mile over. MSRP $36,506. VIN number S3333175. Buy for well qualified buyers only. Subject approval. Offer ends 2/2/26.
Start your day right. First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Monday edition of the First Look program, we'll have a recounting of the Seahawks' huge win over the Rams. I mean, we knew they'd win, but not by that much. We'll talk jobs with America's Job Center at Kern. We got the hot list coming up, plus news, traffic, and weather. It's all happening 6 to 9 a.m. right here at News Talk 96.1 and streaming live on the internet at kernradio.com.
First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. The Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, live 9 to noon. Now back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
And don't it feel good? It's a Friday. That means KGET TV entertainment reporter Rick Bentley live in studio. How are you, sir?
I am wonderful. Thanks for asking.
Beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Oh, compared to what's going on across the country?
Can you imagine? That's why I couldn't do it. That's why I could never. I love the East Coast. I love the South. But this is exactly why I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I mean, I've endured those frozen roads and ice and snow, and I didn't like it.
And the problem is with, like, say, Atlanta. Atlanta gets snow once every 12, 15 years.
Right.
So it'd be stupid for them to spend millions on the equipment. So when it does snow, the city is shut down.
Or the other thing is you have people who haven't driven in snow.
Yeah.
And so they're the ones that get out, and they're the ones who will end up killing you.
Yes. You're absolutely right.
I've seen too many people who don't know how to drive in snow, just go barreling down the road and hit the brakes, slam on the brakes, and they're whirly-burling it off the street.
Have you ever heard my snow story?
No, I haven't.
You remember when it snowed here some years ago?
Barely.
I was doing a morning show and didn't realize because nobody showed up for work. Nobody showed up. Nobody in the sales department showed up. But we were on the air at 5 and I had to be there at 4.
Right.
So I just got up and went through the snow. And I literally was making tracks on the 99. I was literally like one of the first since it snowed on the 99. And I was getting off I was working for Buck Grady and I was trying to get off at Pegasus. And you couldn't see. It was like bright.
Oh, yeah. Snow blindness.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I missed the turn off the Pegasus exit. So I tried to abruptly turn.
Oh.
And I'm sliding perpendicular to the freeway.
Yeah.
Down the 99 north.
Sideways.
Sideways. And I'm just like, and I was smart enough not to try to, turned the
that's the
wheel.
worst
I just
thing.
let it go, and finally came to a stop. And then I was about to go to Lerdo to turn around, and I was like, "There's nobody on the freeway."
Yeah,
so I went south on the north,
Yeah.
and then got off in Pegasus.
Yeah, that was the blessing that there was nobody on the road,
Yeah.
that you could slide sideways down and nobody
Yeah.
was going to take you
That was
out.
a crazy day.
Yeah. But again, that's one in how many years?
32 for me.
It seems like every year now the South, and especially I have a friend who lives in Iowa, and he's literally building an igloo because he knows it's going to be freezing there.
I don't know why they just don't do the boogie tag. I'd get out and go to Orlando or something. I can get in a hotel for a couple days.
Yeah, but
because the biggest thing is the electricity.
Well, yeah, that's out.
Once the
But
lines
then,
go down.
But I would go down. Yeah, that's when I'd schedule my vacation. But probably that's when everybody else has scheduled their
Yes.
vacation, and so the Motel 6 is going to cost you $700 a night.
That's very true.
Yeah, so
that's very true.
Yeah, that makes it hard on you. So
see, back in the day, people weren't like that because I've told the story. My girlfriend, I'm a sophomore or junior at Morehouse. My girlfriend's summer. I'm coming back from Christmas. I got back early. She's coming back from Maryland. I go to pick her up, and it starts snowing that day.
Yeah,
and we got caught in this hotel, and we paid for the first night, and because of the snow, they comped us the next night.
Oh,
now you're right. Today,
yeah,
the next night would have been $500.
Exactly, or sleep in your car.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
just different world in the 20th century.
Yeah, it is. It's in so many ways.
Yeah. Let's go to the movies, shall we?
Let's go to the Oscars. Hey.
Yeah, big surprises, big snubs.
I wouldn't say big surprise. There's every year there's a surprise, and I would say part of that comes from the fact that except for Best Picture, which has 10 nominations, everything else is 5.
Right.
So we're hearing all this about certain directors who got their picture got named best picture, but they didn't get direct.
Which I've never understood.
I have always contended from my first day of writing about the Oscars is that it should be mandatory. If you win Best Picture, you win Best Director. A film does not direct itself.
Thank you.
And so you don't even have to give out the director's award. You go, and now our Best Picture is, so and so, and the director, comes up, he gets his award. You get the best.
I agree.
It should be mandatory.
I absolutely 100% agree.
Yeah, and I know there have been a couple years where it felt like the Academy was trying to say, well, we want to honor both this film and this film. So if we give the director award and give the film Best Picture, I just feel like that's one of those cases where, it's like let's say the Seahawks win the Super Bowl, but they don't credit the coach, for winning.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, it didn't win. They didn't win by them. They needed coaching, and so it should be automatic. He's a Super Bowl winner too.
Right.
Rather than we have to have a vote say, well, he took him to the Super Bowl, but is he really the Super Bowl winning coach? So but yeah, that's one of the big things. The other big complaint before we get to some of the other things I'm going to talk about is that I just feel like it is absurd that the Oscars aren't on air until mid-March, March 18th.
Yeah, it's crazy.
By then we are at least fourth of the way or fifth of the way through the new movie season.
Yeah.
By that point, a lot of people are going to go, wait a minute, when did I see Hamnet? And so and I get it. They want to be the top dog, but by the time we get to them, we've already had the Critics' Choice Awards. We've already had the Golden Globes. Right. We'll have the SAG Awards. There'll be so many awards out there that by the time we get to them, we go like, okay, well, yeah. So they also won the Oscar.
And isn't February a ratings month?
Those they used to be.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're that big anymore, because I used to remember writing stories every February, May, and September.
Right.
Because those were the 3 big used to determine the rating for the year.
Yeah.
But now when I look at the programming that's in those months, it's not specialty anymore. We'll have stuff that's being delayed, and so I don't know how much the Nielsen's have an effect on the advertising rates anymore.
Okay.
I really just don't know.
Okay.
Well, but, we'll get back to the Oscars and the snubs. I think that the one that's people are going to talk about is Wicked for Good.
Zero.
None. Now they had 10 for Wicked, and they won 2. Okay, so now we get to the sequel. Nothing. Now,
Which you didn't like, correct?
I'm fully on board. I don't think they deserved.
Yeah.
The only place I would argue that they probably did deserve consideration for an Oscar is in the original song category. There were 2 new songs written for Wicked for Good by the original writer of the music for Wicked. And they're not bad songs.
Yeah.
But I really thought one of those 2 would slip in there. Rather than, and I get it that the K-pop Demon Slayers is so popular now, and that song Golden is big, and I get it. But I really felt like one of those Wicked tunes would get in there. I think it's a backlash. I think a lot of people did not. Well, one, Wicked for Good was not anywhere near as good as Wicked.
Yeah.
But I had said from my very beginning, my first review of the movie Wicked, when I saw the stage production of Wicked, the first act is incredible. It has all the big songs. The second act is just, you got to get through it just to go home. I mean, it just has one good song, but the whole relationship between Elphaba and Glinda is not there. And so anyway, so now we get to we're making movies based on the first act and second act. And so the second act film is not as good because it's being based on weaker material.
Right.
That's why you had to write 2 new songs, because there are not a lot of good songs in the original second act. So that I think a lot of people dislike, hey, we made you pay twice to see the whole story, when you could have put that thing in a one night version.
Okay.
So I think there was that backlash. And I think it's also one of those things, it's just, there was nothing new to it. All the costuming, all the makeup that got, noticed the first time around was the same this time. And it didn't win before. So I think it was just a backlash.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's get to the movies and the nominees.
Well, the best pictures, there are 10 up. I'm going to do a little bragging on myself.
Okay.
Of the 10 that were nominated, 7 were on my best pictures of the year list.
Nicely done.
I will take that any year.
70%? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, yeah.
Damn good.
If I was playing for the Dodgers, I'd be an all-star.
You would be a legend.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah. So Begonia. It's a weird sci-fi. It's the one that did not make my top 10. Let's just say.
Okay.
F1, which was, I think, if we had to pick one of the 10 that's the most,
the Brad Pitt film.
The Brad Pitt film. I really was shocked that he got on that.
I was too.
I put it on my top 10.
Did you really?
I did, because I thought, for just speed and action and story, I thought it really worked. And I've always said, when I pick my top 10, I always try to pick films that I know people locally can see. I mean, I literally could go around the world and pick, this film from Afghanistan should be, who's going to see it?
Right.
So anyway, I don't mind putting a popular film on there, and I think F1 falls into that, although it is technically very good. So I have no problem with that. And I also think Hollywood still kind of has a little crush on Brad Pitt.
Oh, of course they do.
And so you have that
Since
combination.
Thelma and Louise, they've been in love with this kid.
Exactly.
And dude, a kid. He's my age.
I know, kid.
Yeah.
That's right. That's like saying, that Leonardo DiCaprio kid.
Yeah.
It's like, no, he's like 108.
53, 55 or something like that.
Yeah. But that's still a kid to me. So.
Yeah, no kidding.
Frankenstein, which was made directly for Netflix, but then got released enough in the theaters to qualify. I put it on my top 10 list at number 10.
Is there something new about this Frankenstein?
And that's the reason first off, I was struggling to find 10. But secondly, the only qualm I have with it, it was well done, well acted, well, shot. It's the same Frankenstein that I've seen multiple times. And so how far do you go like an Andy Warhol and go way off the track with Frankenstein and do this bizarre story, or do you stick to the original writing? And they did with that. So,
okay.
Hamnet is on the list, and I've
heard a lot about this, but I know nothing about it.
Hamnet is based on the book about. It's mostly about Shakespeare's family, his wife and his kids, and his son named Hamnet.
Oh, I was at someone's house and they were watching that.
Oh, there you go.
Almost ratted on myself there, Chris.
It's like, I was it.
Yeah, a friend of mine was watching, and it was bizarre. I didn't know what it was, and then it was explained to me what it was.
Did you just sort of jump into it?
Yeah.
You really need to start from the beginning with it. I think it's a beautifully shot film. I think, Jessie Buckley plays Shakespeare's wife in it. She's probably my leading contender to win Best Actress because she's already taken home the Critics' Choice and Golden Globe. So I'm kind of cheating there, but
really,
yeah. But
is Kate Hudson in that category, or is she supporting?
She is. She is in that category.
Oh, see, I want her to win.
I think we've said it 1,000 times.
No chance.
Sometimes it's an honor just to be nominated.
I know. Did you see the video this morning?
No.
They have video of her getting the call because it comes at like 5 a.m, right?
Yeah.
And she's getting called. She's barely waking up. She's there with her daughter. And she's like, "Oh, I'm so happy," and just it was really exciting. And I was like, "Oh, that's nice."
Yeah.
And George Culver keeps telling me to go see that. He loves that movie.
I love that film.
That's what George Culver told me.
I think Song Sung Blue is the best date movie I've seen in a long time. Yeah.
Well, that's good to know.
Because, and I think a lot of people believe it's just the story of Neil Diamond. It's a biopic. It's not.
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with Neil Diamond.
Well,
I mean, obviously, it has something to do with
it's a
Neil
couple who create a tribute band, and it's about them, about their love story. And it has some very high emotional moments in it. I just love the film, and Kate Woods. I said in my first review of it, she should be considered for an Oscar because she's so
That's
good.
a nice call. That's a nice call.
I can't, even a blind hog finds an acorn every once in a while.
I interrupted you and took you off track. We were talking about the Hamnet star. Who you think's going to win it? Over Kate Hudson.
Yeah, she is just amazing. And this is, the interesting thing about that film is that the book was written about, even in the book, they don't say it's Shakespeare's the father, they say the father. But anyway, I digress. What happens is it's a spoiler. So if you don't want to, turn off for a couple of seconds, his son dies. And so she is devastated because she's been staying at home with the kids. She's the one who's had to deal with all this while Shakespeare's been off building theaters and having fun doing plays and that sort of thing.
Right.
And so she hears he's written the play Hamlet. And she says, he's writing a story, about my, and it's not. He goes, no, it's not about you. Well, when they perform it, you realize there are a lot of parts of Hamlet that are about fathers and sons and relationships and everything. That's
why it's my favorite play.
Yeah, it's a very deep film, but you really do have to start from the beginning. But I'm telling you, Jessie is just amazing in it. I mean, it's one of those memorable performances.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Very good.
All right. Marty Supreme is also up.
The ping pong movie.
The ping pong movie.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's got a good, the early Vegas odds are out, and Marty's third in, as far as potential winner.
What's the favorite?
It's a tie between One Battle After Another and Sinners.
Yeah,
they're both coming in.
Call.
Yeah, both coming in at the same number. But that's early odds. I mean, that'll change.
March.
Yeah, we have almost 2 months for this. People to sort of percolate on it and everything. But Marty Supreme is very good. Timothée Chalamet, picked up an Oscar nomination. Incidentally, becomes the youngest person since Marlon Brando to pick up 3 Best Actor. Yeah. So accomplishment.
That is a huge accomplishment.
Yeah. So anyway, Marty Supreme, it's a ping pong movie, but it's also really a story about this scam artist and what he's doing, and it made my top 10. And so
okay.
One Battle After Another, which was my best picture of the year. That's a DiCaprio film. So many of that cast, One Battle After Another came in second with 13 nominations behind Sinners, which broke the all-time record with 16 nominations. I know you don't watch a lot of movies, but we'll play this little bit of a trivia game here.
Okay.
Before the 16 nominations, there were 3 movies that had tied for the most nominations in Oscar history with 14. I'll give you the first one.
Oh, I know one of them.
Okay, what is that?
I'd be willing to bet it's got to be Titanic.
Titanic is one of them. Very good. If you get the third one, I'll buy you any dinner anywhere in the country.
I would guess Godfather 2?
No.
Neither of the Godfathers?
Neither of the Godfathers.
Any kind of clue? No, just tell us.
Oh yeah, it's like, well, first off, the first one is All About Eve.
With Betty
Davis.
Betty Davis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's going way back.
That's right. Yeah. I was going to give you that one because most people.
I could have never come up with that.
But
you could have told me Betty Davis, and I would have come up with that.
But the third one is La La Land.
Really?
Yes. And that's one everybody. Even when I looked it up, because I always see, well, who was the thing? And I went, La La Land?
Yes, that's what I just said to the audience.
And I liked La La Land.
I didn't mind it. That was a little goofy.
I had forgotten that it got that many nominations.
Yeah, I didn't. I would have never guessed that in a million years.
Yeah. So anyway, one battle after another. To me, I think it is one of the two that's going to win. I think Sinners is has the other chance to do it. The only question that we get down to is Sinners is kind of a genre movie because and again, I don't want to spoil things, so we'll talk kind of.
Please don't, because I'm watching it this weekend.
But it does deal. It's a genre blending movie, okay? And so I think sometimes the Academy gets a little confused, like, oh, I thought I was watching this, and that's it. So
does it help or hurt that they got snubbed? Sinners got snubbed at the Golden Globes. Does that hurt or help?
The rule of thumb has always been that the Golden Globes were sort of a precursor.
Yeah.
But I don't believe that.
What did win for Best Picture?
One.
Was the DiCaprio film?
Yeah, one battle after another.
Yeah, so they'll win.
Yeah. Again, that's going to be one of those things. I think when we get the first couple of awards, and we see it's leaning toward one or the other, that's when we'll know.
Okay.
But I will say this: I think Sinners is an incredible film. It got Michael B. Jordan a Best Oscar nomination. I don't think this ruins it for you because you'll pick up on it really fast. He should have gotten 2 Oscar nominations.
Oh yeah, I know.
Okay,
yeah, he plays
twins, right? And I will say this: they are 2 very different characters. It is not like, oh, he's just put a new hat on. It literally is two very different characters.
So he's got a chance to win.
I think so.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm sort of hedging my bet. I think it's down between him, who I think should win.
Yeah.
Okay. Timothy Chalamet, because they love him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And DiCaprio.
And they love him too.
Yeah. So
this will be interesting.
It's going to be very,
I'm betting on Chalamet.
Well, if you want to go with how you think Hollywood thinks,
that's totally how I'm going on.
Yeah, then yes. But if I'm going on what I think was the performance that resonated the strongest with me,
you go with Michael B.
I'm going with Michael B.
Yeah.
It's an incredible performance and an incredible film that really, I'm always happy when a film takes me to a place I didn't think I was going, and this film does.
Okay, can't wait. I'm watching it Sunday.
Yeah, I don't want to give anything away because
Please don't.
I want you to. You're gonna watch it after the
Yes.
NFL? Okay.
Yes.
All right. The Secret Agent, which is a film from South America, I didn't see. I had no access to it, so it didn't make my top 10. It is getting great reviews from all the critics I talked to.
Yeah.
I just need to see it, so
Okay.
I can't say much about it.
All right.
Sentimental Value is the most nominated Oscar film from Finland ever. It is a beautiful, beautiful film about a very popular director who ignored his daughters growing up because he was chasing his craft, and to try to reconcile with his oldest daughter, who became an actress. He's written this beautiful production about their lives he wants her to star in, and she refuses because she's mad at her dad. And so he goes out and he hires an American actress to play the role, and that causes some friction.
That's where the hijinks begin, say.
Yeah. It is a very emotional film. It's a very beautifully written film, beautifully played. It made my top 10. I thoroughly loved it. We've already mentioned Sinners. It was on my top 10. And then Train Dreams, another film I just didn't get around to watching, but got a lot of buzz from fellow critics. So, but the fact that Train Dreams is up for Best Picture, but none of the actors in the film got any kind of nomination, leads me to believe that, maybe there's just this sort of, we needed a 10th.
Yeah. That's what I was just about to say.
And
They're
people
trying
go,
to fill
oh,
up.
yeah, let's fill this out.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, that's basically, the Hudson thing, I think, was a surprise. I was happy. It was a happy surprise. I didn't think Wicked for Good would do that well, and I didn't expect it to be blanked, but it doesn't surprise me.
You know who I'm rooting for as well? Delroy Lindo.
I am too.
I haven't seen the film.
What
I'm
is he?
seeing it this Sunday.
Is he 79?
I don't know. Hey Siri, how old is Delroy Lindo? 73 years old.
Yeah.
He was, for those that may remember, he was the drug dealer in Malcolm X. That's where I first saw him.
Yeah.
And then realized that I'd seen him before in smaller characters and other movies.
Yeah. And I think one of maybe what's worked against him, but I like, he's one of those actors you go, I know him from
exactly
Malcolm. Yeah, but your name is
yeah.
And so I think that's works. People remember the performance, but then when they start filling out the ballot, it's like, well, who's that guy? He was. You can't write down. He was the drug dealer
in Malcolm X.
Yeah,
exactly.
And so, but I would love to, and you were, talking about gaps. Amy Madigan is up for Best Supporting Actress for Winners.
I saw that. I like her.
40 years since her last nomination.
Yeah.
Kate Hudson up, and it's been 25 years for her. And so that, they're kind of coming back around. There's some people who have been paying their dues for a long time. While they're still, bending over backwards for young talents like a Timothy Chalamet.
Right.
It's nice to see that the people who have really paid their dues are finally getting some recognition.
Yeah.
And Delroy is a great example. I don't know if he has a chance of winning. I hope so. But
who's he up against?
I didn't bring the supporting
The
list
whole
with me because I didn't know how deep we would go into this discussion.
Yeah. I got about a minute left. Have you ever been to the Oscars?
I have.
Yeah?
Yeah. It was the year that The English Patient won.
I just saw that.
Yeah.
Speaking of, well, anyway.
Yeah. I had a friend, one of my best friends who lives in Iowa, worked at the newspaper. He did a big Oscar section. And they liked it so much, they said, we'll give you 2 tickets to the Oscars.
Really?
So he told me, I'll fly out and you can have the other ticket if you pick me up at the airport. You be the ground transportation. So we got tuxes. We went to the show. We sat top, very top balcony of it, but we could look down and see all those celebrities. It was just one of those memorable nights because neither of us were working.
Right.
We were just 2 fans that got to wander in, and then afterwards, you're looking for food and we go to McDonald's and we're sitting there in our tuxes eating McDonald's. So
you couldn't crash the governor's ball?
Well, the section he did wasn't that great.
Thank you, sir. That was outstanding.
Okay, well,
and we'll get back again in March. That is silly. You're absolutely right. I don't understand that.
Yeah,
That's just crazy.
It's absurd.
Rick Bentley, everybody, back with us next Friday. Quick time out as we head into the 4:00 hour. Off to New York City. Seattle hosting the Rams. Denver hosting the Pats. Brandon Lang is next. Outstanding. Thank you, sir.
This is AM 1180 KERN. Green Acres. This is 96.1 FM. Bakersfield. Online at KERNradio.com.
News this hour from Town Hall. Two-thirds of the U.S. population is facing down a monster winter storm and extreme cold. The storm, snow, and ice will stretch over 2,000 miles from Texas to New England as it tracks east through the weekend. Meteorologist Frank Pereira of the National Weather Service says parts of the southern U.S. could get as much as an inch of ice.
Unfortunately, when you start to get ice accumulations of that magnitude, we're looking at the potential for widespread tree damage, power line damage, which could result in long-duration power outages for those areas that are impacted.
At least 182 million people were under watches or warnings for ice and snow, and more than 210 million were under cold weather advisories or warnings. In many places, those overlap.
how
The
I
death
learned to love
toll
the
in
bomb,
Iran
whatever
is
that's called.
rising from
Tom
any
Strange
government
like that.
protest.
He is great.
Activists say
You forget
Iran's
when
bloody
he's the English
crackdown
guy
on nationwide
trying
protests
to
has killed
deal
over
with Sterling Hayden,
5,000 people.
and then he's the
This came
Nazi
from
in
the
the
U.S.-based
wheelchair,
group
and
known
then
as
he's the
Human
president.
Rights
Oh,
Activist News
I
Agency,
totally
which
lost
has
it.
been
I
accurate
totally
in
lost.
previous
Never
rounds of
really,
unrest
I
in Iran.
realized it.
Iranian
But
officials
you know,
earlier
you
this
would
week
for a
said that
second
over
be like,
3,000 had
"Oh, it's a
been
new car.
killed,
Oh, but that's
but
from
Tehran
yourself."
has a history of either
That's funny.
underreporting or not at all
I did
disclosing
like when Eddie did
fatalities
it.
in rounds of
Nutty
unrest.
Professor.
That's correspondent John
think that was
Gambrell
good.
reporting.
I really did.
Vice President J.D.
And I didn't like
Vance
what
on
Jerry
Friday
Lewis would do.
encouraged pro-life
Some people just can't
activists to
pull it
take
off.
heart in how far we've come on the quest to limit abortion. There is still much road ahead to travel together, Vance told attendees at the annual March for Life demonstration, which draws tens of thousands of people annually to Washington. On Wall Street, the Dow down by
Have a good weekend, sir.
285 points, the NASDAQ rose 65. More at townhall.com.
Snapshot from Progressive wasn't created for just anybody. Oh no, we made it for you, gradual breakers. You keep your eyes on the road, so you've seen it all. As long as it all happens directly in front of you, like a Swedish masseuse. Your foot knows exactly the right amount of pressure to apply to the brake. That's why your passengers feel totally relaxed with you behind the wheel and occasionally super sleepy. With Snapshot, safe drivers like you get personalized rates based on your driving habits. Sign up today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents.
It's a new year. Ready for a fresh start or career reboot? At My Computer Career, prep for a more recession-resistant future in the high-demand fields of IT, cybersecurity, in months, not years, including AI. Whether you're starting out or switching careers, no prior training is needed. Attend school online from home or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu to take the free career evaluation today. mycomputercareer.edu, an elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
An evacuation near the Wasco Kern County Airport. I'm Chris Davis. That all had to do with a methane leak that was caused about 9:30 this morning by an oil well that was on fire, according to the Highway Patrol. The area was evacuated near Phillips Road and Palm Avenue near the Wasco Kern County Airport. That gas leak is now reported to be under control. The problem is that methane pushes out oxygen and causes severe symptoms like nausea and can kill you in high concentrations. A man drove his electric wheelchair right into the path of a Toyota, and the Toyota hit the man, killing him last night in Lake Isabella, says the California Highway Patrol. It happened just before 6 at Lake Isabella Boulevard and Crestview Avenue. CHP says the 78-year-old victim pointed his wheelchair into the road, apparently to cross, and was hit. The driver stopped and talked with police, and they don't believe there was any impairment on the part of the driver. Chaz Estefan Calvillo is a convicted felon, and a judge gave an order saying his house could be searched at any time by probation officers. And that's just what they did this week, finding a stash of guns and putting Calvillo right back in jail. Kern County probation officers searched the house on Truman Avenue Wednesday, finding 5 pistols, 4 rifles, a shotgun, and all the ammo. He's charged with being a felon in possession of guns and ammo. In the Allen Booth misdemeanor DUI trial, the prosecution rested its case today. The jury comes back Tuesday to hear the defense for the 74-year-old who was accused of drunk driving. Right after this trial comes the one with his accusation of driving at 3 times the legal limit and running into a group of people at the 2023 Bakersfield Christmas Parade. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN Newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on FM 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
What do you think, this is the Army where you shoot them a mile away? You gotta get up close like this. Bada bing, you blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit.
It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Now make sure you leave the house when you make the call. You understand me? You hear me? Call from an outside line. I mean it.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Hour 2 of the broadcast on this Friday, 23rd day of January. Still lots to do. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, we will debunk the viral lie that's going on with liberals and Democrats who claim that A 5-year-old boy was used as bait, as they are claiming, to arrest his father, an illegal immigrant. We'll break it down and you'll hear from some ICE officials. We'll recap our top story. Assemblymember Jasmine Baines erroneously implying that the U.S. Attorney, Eric Grant, who's in town, is here on her behest. You'll hear Sheriff Donnie Youngblood poo-poo that. And we'll talk a little football at the bottom of the hour. And speaking of the devil, we're off to New York City.
Hit the road, Jack, and don't come back no more.
What you say?
Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more. Oh, woman, don't treat me so.
Brandon Lane. You ever see Ray live?
No.
I saw him live right here in this town. It was great. It was great.
Eddie Murphy said Eddie Murphy about Stevie Wonder being blind. Said, "You want to impress me? drive me to the store."
Have you ever heard black cultural what's the word, a myth that Stevie's not blind? Have you ever heard that?
Nah, that's a little bit of a reach.
Yeah, it's a cultural, it's a black thing. Forget it. Forget it.
Reason why I picked that song is because I'm not one to gloat. I'm not. I've been doing this for 33 years, and when you win a big game, you just move on. But when someone off your text line last week texts in, takes the time to text in, and then you take the time to read it to me, I'm just so pissed.
I called it.
That Carson Beck got greedy.
I called it.
Because if he doesn't, they win the game outright. The difference between, when Kessler's dad, sent that message in saying, "Did you see him just put up 55 on Oregon?" The difference in that game, there were a couple of them. One was what I said on your show, the physicality of the defense of Miami was going to make it hard for Indiana to blow them out. The offensive line for Indiana, they get tired. I mean, you're going against men for 4 quarters. So that was one. And the second thing why I really like Miami was Carson Beck isn't Dante Moore. Moore's a hell of a talent. But he's young.
20 years old. 20 years old.
Carson Beck is an experienced quarterback that I said on your show, if Carson Beck does not turn the ball over, the Miami Hurricanes will win this game outright. You heard it here first. It's exactly what I said. And when he's leading them on that drive, I'm like, here we go. He didn't have to get greedy. It was 1st and 10 at the Indiana 47. There's a minute to go on the clock. This is Ole Miss all over again. But where he didn't make the mistake against Ole Miss, he made the mistake against Indiana.
Or if he hadn't underthrown it. It was underthrown.
Well, that's true too, but that's not the time to take a shot.
Yeah.
You were working the ball down the field. They had figured things out. His protection, the D-line in Indiana was tired. The offensive line from Miami gave him all day to throw in the second half, and he picked them apart. Every score Indiana had, Beck took them right back down the field. They had figured things out.
Yeah.
He didn't have to take the shot. He just didn't.
Yeah.
And he'll live with that the rest of his life. He'll go to bed at night going, I should have just kept moving the ball down. Now, 25 seconds to go at the 47, yeah, you got to take a shot. When you got a minute in college football and you're at their 47, man, that's like having 2 minutes. Clock stops. You're at the 35. Now the clock's at 41. Now you take the check down. Now you spike the ball. Now you're at the 15-yard line, 29 seconds to go. Oh, boy, we got a game. And he just got greedy.
Yeah.
So with that being said, it was everything I said it was. I didn't have anything against Indiana. I had Indiana over Oregon. I did.
Okay, let me.
It wasn't built on them not knowing. We set this line up. Whatever we do, the public's going to hammer Indiana, and they did. The true line of that game probably should have been Indiana minus 4.5.
Yeah.
And the whole world bought into the hype, and the whole world got buried, and Miami covered, and there you go.
Okay, 2 things before we get started. Chris, do I know my guess or do I know my guess? I don't know if you remember, Chris, but I said yesterday when I was teasing you coming on the program. And I said, Brandon Lang joins us tomorrow, where he'll be patting himself on the back for his Miami pick. I can guarantee it. Because this
No,
is
hold on. I'm not patting myself on the back. I'm
just
not
straightening up Don Kessler.
No, I'm addressing the fact that he took the time to call in.
Right.
Did I just see Oregon get blasted and have 55 put on him? And I'm just defending the fact, not gloating about the pick. I was pretty damn confident that Miami was the right side of the game, and for the reasons why I gave Miami.
And I read your text, by the way. I read. Go ahead.
Okay, I wasn't finished before I'm done. Now, all that I just said.
Okay, I got one more thing. One more thing. Is it true that that gal that they kept showing that Carson Beck is dating as a former porn star?
I don't think.
Have you heard that?
No, she's not. She's a Miami fan that went to the A&M game, and what she wore got some pub, and now they're trying to link Carson Beck with him. So, did he possibly go there? I mean, come on, man. He made $3.7 million driving a Ferrari.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
The guy said it.
I heard some talk
everything I just said, I still had to sweat a 3rd down and 5 from the 19-yard line with about 2 minutes to go, where in that entire drive, they were one step away from breaking a tackle and getting the front door touchdown. So every time they ran the ball, he breaks through the line of scrimmage. I'm holding my breath because there were 2 plays in that drive that he almost broke the whole distance. On the 3rd and 5, I'm saying to myself, they could get a breakaway run here, and then I'm going to need a back door. So the game wasn't over. The only thing I'm patting myself on the back for is this. Yes, I won. But I was pretty damn confident that Miami was the right side of the game. And this from a guy that had Indiana over Oregon on Friday night when they blasted the Ducks.
Okay.
That's it. I've lost enough games, and I'm not going to come on here and say, the one thing in this little 3-minute rant, did I say, I told you so? No. I just gave you the breakdown of my pick on why I was so confident Miami was the right side of the game.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. And like I said, I read your text on the air when you texted me yesterday.
No, you couldn't have read it on the air.
I did. Well, I cleaned it up. Didn't I read it on the air, Mr. Burdick? Please vouch for me.
He cleaned it up, but he read it on the air.
I didn't read it verbatim. I had to clean it up.
I think the people, this is a tough business. I can't win enough to sustain the demand of people who want my pick. So everybody just
of course.
and then
it's radio.
Yes, they go absolutely crazy.
Yeah, and it's radio.
I do ESPN Columbus, and they have a guy in there who just hates me. When I'm on a losing streak, he goes on their text line, and they've had to cut him off. F-ling this, F-ling that, and they have to cut him off. And I've hit, they said 90% on their show this year. You've been unbelievable. I mean, I literally had probably my best college football season at brandling.com since the movie came out. It's just been an unbelievable year.
Yeah, our listeners love you. Are you kidding?
To deal with the hate of people that just wait for you to lose, it's unreal. It literally is. My wife literally goes, I don't know how you do it. You have to win every day to keep people happy.
Yeah.
You do. She says, there's no upside to doing this. She goes, I go, well, they made a movie about me, so I kind of got to stay in the business. I go, as long as Matt's alive, I'm relevant. I go, and they'll always show the movie during football season.
Yeah, they do.
It is what it is.
Yeah, they do.
It's not very often that I'm doing it was the first time I've ever done your show where somebody sent a message in and was like, did he get, and I'm like, yes, I had Indiana. But I'm just telling you, don't overlook Miami.
Yeah.
They're 5-star recruits. They're not Oregon.
Yeah.
Oregon's soft. Dan Lanny's a bad coach. Simple as that. All you saw from Miami all year long, they're physical and they're gritty and they're a hard team to blow out when they got 6 first-round draft choices on their defense. So I give Indiana credit. The 4th down and 5 call was epic. But that's on the defensive coordinator, Miami. Gave him a look. Signetti called timeout. Told Mendoza, if you go back out there and they're in a different defense, we're going to have to kick field goal. But if they're in that same defense, run the quarterback draw. And he went out there, and the defense coordinator in Miami sent the same exact defense back out. Mendoza said, thank you.
Great call.
Great call. The talent-wise, the better talent didn't win.
Yeah.
The better coach team won, and it was obvious the better coach team won. Give them credit. That 4th and 5 call will go down in history as one of the greatest calls in college football history for the moment, for the score, for the game, for everything. It was absolutely epic.
All right, off to Seattle and Denver.
Yep. I think the right side of the game is Seattle. I really do. I just don't know how much the Rams have left in the tank. 7 of the last 9 games have been on the road. They've struggled at Carolina. They struggled with Bears, although the weather had something to do with it.
Sure.
They're facing a Seattle team that in the first meeting in LA, Donald four interceptions, and they still had to sweat a 61-yard field goal.
Yeah. I heard some of the.
Now, in the next meeting, Rams jumped on them early. Rams were hammering them. The Seahawks made some fourth quarter adjustments, got 2 stops, scored 2 touchdowns, got 2 2-point conversions, and then overtime they scored the touchdown, got 2-point conversion. I just think the healthier team is Seattle, the fresher team is Seattle, and I think overall body of work, I just think Seattle is in a better mindset right now.
Yeah, I heard the morning guys this morning making a big deal out of the fact that they had 1 extra day rest than the Rams. I think that's a big
Now they had a whole extra week's rest, which is huge. So I think that's the right side of the game.
Okay.
The next game for me is the same as Indiana and Miami. It's Vegas trapping the public and getting people to bet New England based on there's no Bo Nix. Well, I assure you, I've been doing this for 33 years. Bo Nix isn't worth 7 points. Tom Brady is, Aaron Rodgers is, Brett Favre is, John Elway is, Drew Brees is, Peyton Manning is. Line was 2.5. Denver minus 2.5 if Bo Nix plays. He's not playing. And the line went to open 5.5. It's now down to 4.5.
4.5, yeah.
4.5. He's not worth 7 points. So you have all this hype of Stidham can't play, they're dead. And where I feel people are missing this is you have 2 rookies on the offensive line of the New England Patriots that struggled big time last week at home with every advantage in the world. No crowd noise, home field advantage, and Houston abused them. Now you're taking that offensive line on the road against the number 1 team in the NFL, sacking the quarterback 69, Cleveland second 53, and they're going to be coming after them with the crowd noise and every advantage in the world. Drake May, 4th worst quarterback, feeling pressure in the NFL, and he will feel pressure. They may not have sacked Josh Allen last week, but they made him feel pressure and sped him up just a hair, and that was enough to turn him over. At worst, this is a field goal game. Grab Denver plus the points, and I'm going to say it again right now. If Jared Stidham plays a clean game and does not turn the ball over, the Denver Broncos are going to shock the world and beat the New England Patriots.
You are in agreement with Mr. Burdick. He's got Denver.
Well, there we go. See? Just takes one right side of the game. Bottom line is I don't trust Drake May. I don't trust the offensive line of New England. They only beat 2 teams with a winning record all year, Baltimore and Buffalo. Their 2 playoff games, they faced Justin Herbert, who's 0-3 on the playoff road with a total of 9 turnovers. Well, I'm exaggerating. He had 4 last year against the Texans, and he played like garbage in the opener. And then Stroud threw 4 interceptions. So they've had the easiest record I've ever seen that people are getting behind this team. And I just don't see it. Sean Payton, Josh McDaniels thought enough of Stidham to bring him with him to the Raiders. And before he could re-sign him, Payton said, nope, get your butt up here. You're my guy. And to see Sean Payton in the press conference afterwards, I've never seen a head coach talk about a backup quarterback when Payton said, Bo's out. City's going to be fine. Did he? The head coach called his backup quarterback Diddy.
So should you take a poke at the money line?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
If I bet 1,000 on the game, I'd put 500 on the money line, 400 on the money line.
Right.
That way, if they cover, I still net profit 600. I always tell people that if I release a lot of underdogs, especially in football, and I put a significant amount of Miami, and I spent a little bit on the money line. So I always turn going to profit. Just like if people want to bet teasers and parlays and all that, and they have one best bet. I'm like, put 500 on your best bet and put 500 on your teasers and parlays. So all your teasers and parlays. How many times I meet guys in Vegas and go, man, I hit my best bet, but I lost everything else. I lost money. I'm like, well, all your other bets should never exceed your best bet.
Right. Exactly.
Your best bet is your best bet. Make sure that gets the brunt of your bankroll.
That's how I do my parlays. That's
Yep,
exactly
9
how I do
times
my
out of 10,
parlays.
guys will hit their guys have enough of an opinion that will hit the one game they like.
Right. Now,
But then action junkie, they want to bet every game on the board.
Right. Getting 3 is a whole nother issue, boy.
Yeah.
Whole nother issue. All right, sir. Do we get you one more time pre-Super Bowl?
Yes, but Cappers TV, CAPPERS, CappersTV.com. My reality show.
All right.
Little 5-minute episodes up, and I'm down in Miami right now filming another 4 episodes, little 5-minute episodes. It's one show, but we splice it up in like 5-minute pops. So
Cappers.com.
CappersTV.com.
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 Okay.
They're great. They're great. You'll love them.
Outstanding. Outstanding. All right, man. Have a great weekend. Enjoy Miami. We'll talk to you soon.
Got it, babe.
All right, man. Love you, Pop. Brandon Lang. Funny dude, Chris Burdick. Funny dude.
I'm just glad that I'm in agreement with him.
He said he wasn't boasting about his Miami pick.
I cannot
But he
confirm
took-
nor deny that
He took 12 minutes to talk about the one game that's already been played and spent 8 minutes talking about the 2 games that haven't been played. But he's not patting himself on the back or anything.
I cannot confirm nor deny that the music was a message of some kind.
What was the song? I forget the song.
Hit the
already.
road, Jack.
Yeah, he was pissed. He was pissed. Don Kessler, if you're listening, you pissed him off. You definitely did. That's why I predicted. I told you yesterday he's going to come in here guns a blazing. I'm not patting myself on the back, but I'm going to continue to talk about my pick.
You know, it's funny between
Spent like 16 minutes talking about the Miami game.
we have a guy, Bolt Brady, who's also from the Believe Network that comes on my show on Thursdays, and he's kind of the same way. He boasts about when he wins, but when he loses, we don't talk about
Don't hear about it. Yeah.
Don't hear nothing.
Quick timeout. Bottom of the hour, we'll get into the DHS debunking of the Democratic lie that a 5-year-old was used to lure an illegal immigrant. Total lie. You'll hear from some ICE officials. Coming up at 5 o'clock, we'll recap our top story. Jasmine Baines erroneously implying earlier in the week that the U.S. attorney who came to Bakersfield was here on her behest. Sheriff Donnie Youngblood says, no. Quick time out. We'll check the board when we come back right here on the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KRN. We're streaming live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and
Hey, Messmaker.
Latest in the ongoing controversy surrounding ICE in Minneapolis and what is going to happen with Greenland. Plus, lots of news coming down with the huge winter storm sweeping across the nation. Is climate change defeated once and for all? We will discuss Monday edition. Clay and Buck.
live 9 to noon. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
If you were with us yesterday, you heard one of our important cogs of this broadcast, Mr. Daniel Petrie with Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors. Daniel joins us every Thursday at 4:30 to give you the ins and outs on what's going on with the economy, what's going on in politics, and how the politics affects the economy, and thus how it affects your wallet. And of course, you know what Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors are all about. I've turned a couple of our fellow colleagues here at AGM onto Daniel Petrie, and they're extremely happy with his work. This is all about retirement. Call him today at 395-9400, 395-9400, and his office is located right on the corner of 21st and Oak. Daniel Petrie and the folks at Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors.
This broadcast is for informational purposes only. Does not constitute a solicitation or offer to buy or sell any security, future option, or other financial instrument, or to offer or provide any investment advisory or other services to any person in any jurisdiction by Daniel Petrie or MPWA Inc., DBA Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors. Any views expressed in this broadcast by us are prepared based upon the information available to us at the time, and we are under no obligation to update our views.
King Door Company continues to set the standard in the garage door industry, and I'm here to tell you a few of the reasons why. First off, King Door carries Clopay garage panels and LiftMaster openers, so you're guaranteed quality and reliability well beyond the reach of most garage door companies, and it just gets better from there. King Door has a fleet of fully stocked service trucks with all the parts and tools to handle any job quickly and efficiently, and those trucks are manned by the most knowledgeable technicians anywhere. They have all the technical expertise imaginable and the most up-to-the-minute training available. In fact, King Door is so committed to training that they have the King Door Academy, a full-size, state-of-the-art classroom right on the premises with all the latest teaching aids, including working garage doors to simulate any installation, repair, or technique. Your garage door is a very important part of the safety, security, and look of your home, so don't trust it to anyone but King Door Company. Call them today at 397-2744, stop by the showroom at 7450 District Boulevard, or check them out online at kingdoor.com. King Door Company, your company with the pride of a lion.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
I'm JR Flores. Catch my show, The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
You want to hear a great debate I heard this morning?
Sure.
Greatest quarterback, most incompetent quarterback to win a Super Bowl. I thought that was a great discussion.
Ooh,
There's one that I'm not sure it's fair, but it was who I thought of, and it was the consensus among the guys, whatever show I was watching, whatever comes on before Cowherd, those guys that sit on a couch.
Oh, it's Barstool.
Yeah,
Barstool.
yeah, I was listening to those guys. And everybody had the consensus. Let's see if you can.
Dave Portnoy.
Let's see if you can get it, because it's who I thought it. And then I started thinking about it, and I was like, that's really not fair.
Incompetent in what way?
Huh?
Incompetent.
Just least talented quarterback to win a Super Bowl.
Trent Dilfer.
That's exactly who I thought of. That's exactly who the consensus
Yeah,
was.
that's unfortunate.
And then I started thinking about it. I was like, that's not fair. Dilfer wasn't bad.
No, but let's be honest. He wasn't the most skilled quarterback. If Chicago would have beat Peyton, it would be Rex Grossman.
True that.
But because they lost, it's Trent Dilfer.
But what about, there's got to be, like, who was quarterbacking the Tampa Bay?
Oh, God.
When they beat us? Brad somebody?
Brad Johnson? No.
I think it was Brad Johnson.
Was it Brad Johnson?
I think Trent Dilfer's just as good as Brad Johnson.
Fair.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can think of some others, but I just thought that was so unfair. Poor Trent Dilfer.
See, he's the first one
everyone thought about. Everyone. They thought about it. I thought about it. You came up with it. Quick time out. More TRBS. Don't go anywhere.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
That's the first one I came up
with. As soon
as I thought about it, they all said it.
In Washington,
They're
Vice President J.D. Vance on Friday encouraged pro-life activists to take part in how far we've come on the quest to limit abortion.
I know.
There's still much road ahead to travel together.
Let's see what
Vance
Randy
told
said.
attendees at the annual March for Life demonstration, which draws tens of thousands of people annually to Washington. Attendees rallied on the National Mall before heading to the Supreme Court. The U.S. military says it carried out a deadly strike on a vessel accused of tracficking drugs in the Eastern Pacific Ocean
That was the
The
other one I
persons
said.
the raid that captured Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro earlier this month. U.S. Southern
I
Command
think
said
he threw the
Friday
ball
on social
16
media
times.
that
And
the
there
boat
went
was engaged in narco trafficking operations and that the strike killed 2 people and left 1 survivor. More details at srnnews.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm Chris Davis. Why the evacuation order this morning near the Wasco Airport? It was a methane leak that started when an oil well in the area was on fire, says the Highway Patrol. Since methane is dangerous stuff, a neighborhood had to be evacuated, but the leak has been reported under control. A 78-year-old man who was wheelchair-bound was hit and killed last night in Lake Isabella when he drove that electric wheelchair into the path of a car at the intersection of Lake Isabella Boulevard and Crestview Avenue. Police say the driver cooperated with him. The Central Valley Sportsman's Boat and RV Show is back March 13th through 15th at the Kern County Fairgrounds. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN Newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on FM 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
It's that man again, Ralph Bailey for Sangera Subaru. It's a new year, so why not get into the new Subaru that you put off in 2025? And just because it's a new year doesn't mean the guys over at Sangera Subaru have slowed down. So if an SUV is what you've been leaning towards, then how about leasing a 2025 Outback Premium CVT for only $229 a month for 36 months and just $4,800 due at signing? Let me say that again. $229 a month for a brand new Outback. And the offer ends February 2nd. So stop by and see my good friends Damon Culbertson and Hassan Levy. Pick out your new Outback and hit the road. And remember, every Subaru comes standard with symmetrical all-wheel drive. Sangera Subaru, paving the way for a better community. 5500 Gasoline Alley Drive in the Bakersfield Auto Mall.
Through February 2nd, 2026, lease 2025 Outback Premium CVT, model code SDD-13 for $229 a month for 36 months, $4,800 due at lease signing plus tax and license, zero security deposit, 10,000 mile year limit, 15 cents per mile overage, MSRP $36,506, VIN number S3333175, buy and for well-qualified buyers only, subject to credit approval, offer ends 2/2/26.
You can't escape a traffic jam. Know what else you can't escape? Seasonal allergies. And you might think you can avoid that coffee stain until... Oh, really? You can't escape a lot of things in life, but you can escape prediabetes. Prediabetes captures 1 in 3 adults. There are usually no signs of prediabetes. In fact, most people don't even know they have it. But with early diagnosis, you can change the outcome and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Take action by taking the 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. You might not be able to escape having this song stuck in your head, but you can escape prediabetes. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org today. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
Monday's Armstrong and Getty showed just how bad and disruptive was the winter storm. Also, did we go to war with Iran? We might.
And I, for one, just hope that Scott Bessent and Gavin Newsom's catfight continues. It's some of the funniest stuff I've heard in a very long time. Regardless, we will bring you the news of the day without left-wing media spin as we do every day on the next Armstrong and Getty show.
Weekdays noon to 2 on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. The Armstrong and Getty Show. Weekdays noon to 2 on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Now, back to
Let's see. Dilfer, like Johnson, was a game manager that didn't do anything flashy or produce great stats, but he also didn't make the kind of mistakes that cost teams games. Having a great supporting cast doesn't hurt either.
Clearly.
Someone's a Steeler fan.
And having one of the best defenses in all of football doesn't hurt either.
Oh, someone texted in Joe Flacco. Come on.
Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco's talented.
Yes, he is. Joe Flacco, he's still playing. He's like 57 years old, and he's still playing. How can you throw Joe Flacco in with Trent Dilfer? I don't
Joe
see
has
that.
had way more success and has way more arm strength and talent.
Yeah, I don't see that. What else you got?
Someone else chimed in with Trent Dilfer too, so we're not alone.
Come on, there's got to be somebody else. A lot of people think Eli Manning belongs on the list.
Who
did not get in again? Who did not get in the Hall again?
He beat Tom, so that makes him better than any other argument.
Twice.
Yeah, no.
Twice. He's got 2 rings. The only other quarterback, who's the only other quarterback with 2 Super Bowl rings that's not in the Hall of Fame?
It was your guys.
Silver and black.
It's Plunkett? No.
Jim Plunkett. Disservice. Absolute injustice. The Jim Plunkett, who's the #1 pick out of Stanford and had some great years at New England, who was just on a bad team. He was the #1 pick. He and Randy Vataha. Remember Randy Vataha? They were a team together at Stanford. And New England picked Plunkett first, and then they got Vataha later in the draft, and they were together again in New England. And he had some good years when he was young, and then he was kind of a journeyman. And Al Davis's genius spotted him, just like he plucked out Rich Gannon and some other players. Todd Marinovich wasn't a real big winner, and Jamarcus Russell may be the worst draft pick we've ever had. But, they saw something in him. Because remember that Raider fans, we just traded for Dan Pastorini from Houston. We were all excited. We were all thrilled. And Plunkett was just a guy on the squad. And Pastorini, I think, hurt himself in preseason. And Plunkett came in, and we never looked back. Beat Philly, beat Dick Vermeil's Eagles in '81, my freshman year. And then the famous story where I threw a party and everybody left in '84 when we beat the Redskins because we beat them so bad. People were like hanging at our party because in Georgia, you can't buy liquor on Sundays. And I'm pretty sure that still holds. And so we went on Saturday and bought all this Stroh's beer and different types of liquor. And when Jack Squire, with 5 seconds left in the first half, intercepted that screen pass, and I think that made it like 28-3 or something, people left. Our party was me and Fred playing two-handed spades for the whole second half. It was like one of the best days and one of the worst days. You know what I mean? We had like this booming party that was bouncing, Jack. And once the game got out of control, everybody left. Everybody left. And we had Stroh's beer and I wasn't even a beer drinker back then. We had Stroh's beers for days and days and days. Anything else?
I really enjoyed your entertainment section. Keep it up. Good work.
Thank you. Somebody else was critical of it in the chat room.
Oh, it's unfortunate.
I know. I thought it was great.
I love Bentley.
I do too. Sometimes he gets too in the weeds in Hollywood. You know, he just kind of wanted to go through the nominees, but he loves talking about it. Yeah, I thought it was a great segment. What else you got?
Ralph, any thoughts on Trump's dementia?
Say what? Say what?
Any thoughts on Trump's dementia?
Oh, Trump's dementia. I don't think there is dementia. I think, and I don't know, you know, I wish I could was in the consulting business. Because I would tell him, be honest. Look, I'm 79 years old. I listen to Ralph Bailey. He makes mistakes every single day, and he's 63. I'm 79 years old. Am I going to mix up Greenland for Iceland? Yes. What difference does it make? And if you dare compare me to Joe Biden, you know, you're trying to live through me because you're so wrought with guilt that you perpetrated a lie. You know, who was it? Joe Scarborough? This is the best Joe Biden ever. I mean, they didn't just say he was competent. They created a whole new Joe. Remember the Haitian lesbian? I can't even keep up with him. Really? Well, lady, you got problems if you can't keep up with Shuffling Joe. I mean, it wasn't just enough that he was competent, he should be the president of the United States. No, they went overboard. And I'm sure many of you have seen many of the montages, many of the compilations of the different executives in the cabinet and the different Democrats. Oh, Joe, I just was with him in a meeting and I could barely keep up with him. And it's like, please. So now they're trying to put this on Trump because he mixed up Greenland with Iceland. And instead of trying to cover it up and say he meant ice, land in reference to Greenland, just say I'm a 79-year-old man. But look, I got us a good deal, didn't I? I got what I wanted, didn't I? We're going to have more bases, more security, and we get their rare earth minerals. In 15 years, people are going to look at this deal, if in fact the framework of it gets solid, and thank Donald Trump. But he's an old man. He's damn near 80, or is he 80? Hey, Siri, how old is Donald Trump? Hey, Siri, how old is Donald Trump?
Donald Trump is 79 years
Yeah, he's
old.
damn near 80. Why don't you say, I'm damn near 80? I'm going to mix some words every now and again. But don't think I don't have command of the free world. Don't think I don't have command of this administration. You done lost your mind. And I'll, and bragging about his acuity tests and stuff like that. And one more, and then we're going to get into this DHS story.
49 Larry has given us his picks of the week.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah, this is a running thing now.
After the 49ers got beat, what, 41-6? Was that the score?
Yeah, it was.
41-6?
Yeah.
41-6.
Yeah.
And Larry's calling in to tell us who he thinks. Well, let's do the Bailey. Who is he picking on? Please don't say New England.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
He says he cannot root for the Rams or Seattle due to his San Francisco ties, but he will be rooting for New England to win the Super Bowl.
I'm screwed. There's no way in the world. There's no way. It's just like
see, here's the thing.
It's just like the real mush in Bronx Tale.
Here's the thing, though.
I can tear up my ticket right now.
Here's the thing. You're both mushes, so maybe it's a double
negative.
It works in your favor. This actually might save you.
I thought the line would explode. I really did. I thought I was getting in on the ground floor. I thought it, but Brandon's right. He doesn't think that they're worth 7. I think I never want to disagree with Brandon because we pay him to come on here and do his thing. So I don't ever want to disagree with him, but I am, because I think that what's the child's name? Drake May.
Drake May, yeah.
I thought he handled the chaos extremely well. The turnovers, the fumbles in the first half. You know, a lot of quarterbacks fold after having the first half that he did last week. You know what I'm saying? And I thought he handled it well. And I think he's going to handle the pressure well. I think he's more mobile than Brandon gives him credit for. Yeah, they're coming. And they're going to be blitzing because they've got to win the game on defense. But I think Drake May's going to handle it. But I'm screwed. Let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we'll get into this DHS story. You'll hear from some ICE officials debunking the viral lie that's going around being spread by liberal Democrats that a young 5-year-old illegal immigrant's son, a 5-year-old was used as bait to lure an illegal immigrant. I'll tell you the details of that, and you will hear from one of the ICE officials. Top of the hour, we'll recap our top story of the day in regards to Zach Scrivener, his mother Kathy, and whether or not the U.S. attorney is here to investigate or perhaps appeal the mental diversion that was provided to Mr. Scrivener. And we'll wrap it up. The Australian Open is in the 3rd round. Coco Gauff defeated Haley Baptiste. What was unique about that match last night, Mr. Burdick? Coco Gauff v. Haley Baptiste.
Not sure on this one.
2 young American black women.
Oh, true.
We'll hear from Coco Gauff about growing up with Haley Baptiste and what it's like to be a young black girl on the tennis tour. That's all coming up. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on a Friday, right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KRN. We're streaming live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM.
Adaptive.
Start your day right. First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Monday edition of the First Look program, we'll have a recounting of the Seahawks' huge win over the Rams. I mean, we knew they'd win, but not by that much. We'll talk jobs with America's Job Center at Kern. We got the hot list coming up, plus news, traffic, and weather. It's all happening 6 to 9 a.m. right here at News Talk 96.1 and streaming live on the internet at kernradio.com.
First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I cannot tell you how happy management is that we signed up with Adaptive Networks to provide our IT service. Why? Well, when you call, you'll actually talk to a real person who knows your name, understands your business, and genuinely cares about solving your problems. And as I've talked about time and time again, as a radio station, our IT is vital, or we go black, go dark. That's why we depend on Adaptive Networks, because they answer responsively, quickly, and stably. From the moment you become a client, you'll experience the difference that comes from working with a company that puts customer service first. Ready to experience IT support the way it should be? Call the folks at Adaptive Networks at 661-241-0638 or hit them online at adaptive-net.com. And you've heard the owners, Jennifer and Ryan Van Alstyne. They join us every other Wednesday right here on the Ralph Bailey Show. 241-0638 or hit them online at adaptive-net.com.
Meet Paul Sheldon's client, Guy Picard.
Hi, my name is Guy Picard, and I am very happy that I found Paul Sheldon. What a relief it is trying to turn 65 and find somebody like him to help me navigate this industry. I think that it's really important that you look at all of the options that you have and then give Paul Sheldon a call, because he will create a plan that fits your budget and fits what you're trying to achieve as far as trying to get the best possible medical care that you can have. So I'd like to recommend Paul Sheldon to any of you out there that are trying to navigate the medical industry at turning 65. Give Paul Sheldon and his staff a call. They are awesome. And I'd just like to say, Paul and your whole entire staff, you guys rock.
When Medicare matters, our team has the answers. Team Paul Sheldon.
398-2298.
Come see one of the top teams in the AHL as the Condors continue their chase for the top spot in the Pacific Division tonight against Colorado. It's adult jersey giveaway, with the first 2,500 fans 18 and older getting a replica Condors jersey. Plus, it's $3 Beer Friday with Michelob Ultra and Mango Cart, just $3 from doors open through the start of the second period. Presented by Eyewitness News and SC Architect. Doors open at 6. The puck drops at 7. Fun starts at just $15 at CondorsTown.com or by calling 324-PUCK. This is Condors Town.
Are you looking for a hospital that truly cares for your health and well-being? At Good Samaritan Hospital, they provide high-quality medical detox, psychiatric services, and medical and surgical care. They accept most insurances, including Medi-Cal, Medicare, and Kern Family. They offer Kern County's longest-standing inpatient detox program with dual diagnosis that combines medical care and withdrawal management all under one roof. Learn more at GoodSamaritanHospital.com or call 661-215-7500. Good Samaritan Hospital. They care for their community.
The Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, live 9 to noon. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Will you call me Monday? Say, Ralph, bring the list of music, please. How do I not remember that every single day?
And you looked at me dead in the face yesterday and said, I'm going to send you the picture. I'm just going to send you the picture. Okay, sure, yeah.
And I added to the list last night.
Sure, yeah.
I was watching some television show and some song from the 70s came on. I was like, oh, where's my pen? I write it. What are you going to do?
Well, I'm running out of hits from the 1966 year.
So call me Monday. I got it. We're overdoing it. We're redoing the music. Whole new sounds. Blacken things up a little bit. Get a little more ethnic. Get a little bit older. Just old music. I'm sure you've heard the viral lie that's going around by, you name it. And I heard Anna Navarro claim it on The View this morning. AOC has been spreading it. One congressman, the bald woman, I forget her name, the bald black woman. I'm sure you've seen her at hearings. She claims that the boy was kidnapped. And it's just, as I said at the top of the show, they're looking for their George Floyd. You know what I'm saying? One person who can represent what they think is the injustice that's going on with ICE. They thought they had it with the Venezuelan. Remember? Oh, he's just a Maryland father. Yeah, a Maryland father that was a Venezuelan gang member who beat up his wife. That's who they defended and tried to portray as just a Maryland dad. And then there was Renee Good. Remember that? Oh, that ICE agent wasn't struck by a vehicle. I even repeated their lie until Howard came on that week and said, Ralph, look at the third tape, not the first two. Look at the third shot. And this was before Jonathan Ross came out with his own telephone video, but there was a third angle that clearly showed he did get hit. So the mayor comes out of Minneapolis, comes out and says, well, he didn't get hit. Then when the third angle comes out, he says, well, he got hit, but it was like getting hit with your refrigerator door. Then the next day, DHS comes out and says the man suffered internal bleeding. They just lie. They just do. It is what they do. And they're searching for that face. Because look at it now. Use my example. They moved off Renee Good. She's not in the news any longer. They moved off the Venezuelan. They had to because they just lie. Here's Marcos Charles. He is an ICE agent explaining the truth of what exactly happened.
When officers approached Conejo Arias, he and his child were in a vehicle. Arias fled from law enforcement on foot, abandoning his child in the middle of winter in a vehicle. One of our officers stayed behind with that child while other officers apprehended his father. After conducting the arrest, my officers stayed with the child. They cared for him, took him to get something to eat from a drive-through restaurant, and spent hours ensuring he was taken care of. Again, my officers did that, not his father.
The other lie that they try to perpetrate is this idea that, oh, we're separating from their families. Well, that's called law enforcement. If a father gets arrested for DUI, disorderly conduct, spitting on the sidewalk, and he goes to jail, you separate him from his family. That's kind of how law enforcement works. And the fact that they took and fed the boy and cared for the boy, and I bet you didn't know this. Here's more from Marcus Charles. Listen to this.
My officers did everything they could to reunite him with his family. Tragically, when we approached the door of his residence, the people inside refused to take him in and open the door. Let me say it again. They saw the young boy and they refused to open the door and take him back.
Now I know what you're saying. Well, of course she didn't open the door. She was afraid she was going to go to jail. No, the ICE agents assured the mother they were not going to incarcerate them if they just took control of the child. And then there's another woman who I think is a teacher who was screaming and yelling that they didn't let her or somebody else take the child. No, they didn't. You as a law enforcement officer can't just be like, oh, you want to take it? Here, Chris Burdick, you take the child. You can't just turn over somebody's child to some stranger. Now the father and the boy are back together. Again, I'm on record. I don't like this. If the guy's not a criminal, I don't like this. And I think numbers, everybody's talking this morning, all the news agencies were talking about the new numbers that have come out. I didn't want to go into that because I think most of us know this thing ain't very popular. Even if you personally agree with what Trump is doing and how he's doing it, it ain't very popular. It just isn't. It's underwater. It's a majority that think this is how they're going about it is wrong. But it is amazing to me the absolute hypocrisy. Maybe it's the methods, maybe it's the videos, but just how they're trying to spin this thing. And you see what they have to eventually end up with. And that's a lie. They have to perpetrate a lie. And it's got to be a heart-wrenching, heart-tugging lie that this poor 5-year-old boy was used to lure his dad. I mean, where did that even begin? How does that even get rolling when it's not in the zip code of the truth? And you'll hear this on the news tonight. The key word, it's like they have talking points. And the key word with this child was bait. They used him for bait. Oh, he was bait. And the one, like I said, the bald-headed black woman in Congress, I forget her name, I'll look it up after the break. She said the boy was kidnapped. When in fact, they took the child to get fed. They kept him warm. What were they supposed to do? Just leave him out in the cold? Again, in law enforcement, if a parent gets arrested, by definition, he is separated from his family, whether it's illegal immigration, DUI, disorderly conduct, obstruction of justice. The child doesn't go to jail with his domestic violent dad or his DUI dad or his spit on the sidewalk dad. But because it's illegal immigrants, oh, they're separating from their families and oh, they're traumatizing the child and oh. And the mom wouldn't even let the boy in. She said, you handle it. I'm too scared. I might go to jail. I don't want to get a, I'm not, I'm like, wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. A mother not just being like, give me my son. You would think she'd be out there, screw ICE, give me my boy. But instead, she's hiding behind her door with her son out there in the cold. 842-5376, 842-KERI. Let's read a couple text messages.
Let's see. Dan Pastorini broke his leg, and we all cheered for Jim Plunkett.
I think you're rewriting history. I think when Jim Plunkett initially took over, I remember those years. I was a young adult when the Raiders were winning back in those days. And everybody was like, he's old, his days are, no, he's not the answer, blah, 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 blah. And we had a great year that year. And we beat, I wasn't even a Raider fan back then. I was still a Ram fan. And they beat Ron Jaworski and the Philadelphia Eagles. They had a really great running back that year. I can't remember who it was. Wilbert Montgomery was the big running back they had. And the big play was Plunkett to Kenny King. Our fullback, Kenny King, ran a kind of a bubble screen kind of a thing. And it broke down, so he just took it up the field, and Plunkett led him, and that kind of broke the game open. So I think you're rewriting history. Jim Plunkett's career seemed to be over when he came to the Raiders. And he got his opportunity, he made the best of it. He had a weird throwing motion. And like I said, I'd love to see how old he was. I guess he was probably in his late 30s at the time. But he'd go on to win again in 84 against the Redskins. 2 rings. Guy leads 2 separate teams 3 years apart to a World's Championship. And he was the first-round pick out of Stanford. First-round pick. I mean, the first pick in the first round. And not in the Hall of Fame. It's an absolute injustice. Absolute injustice. I don't know what it is with Raider folk. You know, it took us years to get in Tom Flores. Did Flores get in before he died? Or did he get in posthumously? I can't even remember. I think he got in posthumously.
Yeah, I think it was after he died.
Yeah, I think it was too. Too bad. Final hour of the week. We'll recap our top story of the day. You'll hear from Coco Gauff as she tries to win her 3rd major. They're down under in Australia. And we'll get our final picks for the AFC and NFC championship games. It's TRBS. Don't go anywhere.
This is AM 1180 KERN Green Acres. This is 96.1 FM Bakersfield. Online at KERNradio.com.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. People across the country are preparing for winter weather.
Forecasters say over half the U.S. population could be affected by winter weather. In Maryland, Governor Wes Moore declared a state of emergency.
Please use common sense.
In Oklahoma City, Public Works employee Michael Colbert says They had a similar storm in 2009.
It was the most snow that we've had here in history, I believe. And this one is supposed to be pretty close to that.
And in Georgia, people stock up on groceries. Alonzo Berry is one of those grocery shoppers.
Like, we just want to make sure we're good for any kind of winter blizzards or anything that could come.
I'm Haya Pinjwani.
Tens of thousands gathered in Washington, D.C. for the annual March for Life today. Vice President J.D. Vance told attendees that President Trump's support for the pro-life movement has given it a new trajectory.
He empowered our nation and our movement to build a culture of life from the grassroots up. And over the last year, I got to brag a little bit, our administration has worked very hard to lead that effort and to pick up the pieces to clean up the wreckages of 5 decades of bad policy on the question of life.
Vance told the crowd that there is still much more to do in the quest to limit abortion. The U.S. military said Friday it's carried out a deadly strike on a vessel accused of trafficking drugs in the eastern Pacific Ocean. It's the first known attack since the raid that captured Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro earlier this month. U.S. Southern Command said on social media that the boat was engaged in narco-trafficking operations and that the strike killed 2 people and left 1 survivor. On Wall Street, a mixed day as the Dow was down by 285 points, but the NASDAQ rose 65. More on these stories at townhall.com.
This is where I was going to segue into it.
Everybody loves the season of giving, but now the season of paying for it is upon us. That not so wonderful time of the year when millions of Americans open their credit card statements, stare in horror at the balance, and resolve then and there to find new ways to save money.
For some women?
If you're among those Americans, why not start by cutting your wireless bill in half right now with Pure Talk's Saver
But not
plan?
so much for
It's
men,
easy.
I don't think.
You'll get
Is it a deal
unlimited
breaker for
talk,
dudes?
text, and 3 gigs of high-speed data on a super-fast, nationwide 5G network for just $20 a month. Just dial pound
you're
250,
sexing him up-
say Mike Rowe, and you'll save an additional 50% off your first month. Ho, ho, ho. And if you're active or former military or a first responder, you'll save an additional 20%
I think for most
every
men, sexing
single
is
month.
good enough.
That's pound
Especially if you're
250.
going out
Say Mike Rowe for the gift that keeps on saving from America's
But I do
wireless
think for
company.
women, it's
Pure
a deal breaker.
From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
An evacuation near the Wasco Kern County Airport. I'm Chris Davis. That all
There's
had to
my
do
girl.
with a methane leak that was caused about 9:30 this morning by an oil well that was on fire, according to the Highway Patrol. The area was evacuated near Phillips Road and Palm Avenue near the Wasco Kern County Airport. That gas leak is now reported to be under control. The problem is that methane pushes out oxygen and causes severe symptoms like nausea and can kill you in high concentrations. A man drove his electric wheelchair right into the path of a Toyota, and the Toyota hit the man, killing him last night in Lake Isabella, says the California Highway Patrol. It happened just before 6 at Lake Isabella Boulevard and Crestview Avenue. CHP says the 78-year-old victim pointed his wheelchair into the road, apparently to cross, and was hit. The driver stopped and talked with police, and they don't believe there was any impairment on the part of the driver. Chaz Estefan Calvillo is a convicted felon, and a judge gave an order saying his house could be searched at any time by probation officers. And that's just what they did this week, finding a stash of guns and putting Calvillo right back in jail. Kern County probation officers searched the house on Truman Avenue Wednesday, finding 5 pistols, 4 rifles, a shotgun, and all the ammo. He's charged with being a felon in possession of guns and ammo. In the Allen Booth misdemeanor DUI trial, the prosecution rested its case today. The jury comes back Tuesday to hear the defense for the 74-year-old who was accused of drunk driving. Right after this trial comes the one dealing with his accusation of driving at 3 times the legal limit and running into a group of people at the 2023 Bakersfield Christmas Parade. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on FM 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
What do you think, this is the Army where you shoot them a mile away? You gotta get a post like this. Little bing, you blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit.
I'm playing that young
It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Now make sure you leave the house when you make the call. You understand me? You hear me? Call from an outside line. I mean it.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Final hour of the broadcast, final hour of the week, as we wrap up another 5 days of outstanding radio broadcasting right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KRN, where we're streaming live. Radio.com and the Kern Radio Studios are powered by our friends at Adaptive Networks. For all your IT needs, call the folks Jennifer and Ryan Van Alstyne and Company at 661-241-0638, 241-0638, or online at adaptive-net.com. And Jennifer and Ryan join us. Boy, what's wrong?
We got to tighten ourselves up.
Oh, Lord.
We killed a man.
Who'd we kill?
Mr. Flores.
We killed Tom Flores?
We did.
Tom Flores is still alive?
88 years old and kicking.
Hey, Siri.
Yes.
How old is Tom Flores?
In fact, he lives in the greater Sanger area, if I'm not mistaken, or Fresno.
She gave me Tom Cruise. Hey, Siri. How old is Tom Flores?
Tom Flores is 88 years old.
Holy Toledo, we killed Tom Flores. Who, did you just look it up or did somebody tighten us up?
Someone tightened us up, so I double checked, and we absolutely did. We we made an error.
Why did I think that? Did he give a speech? Maybe he was too old. He didn't give a speech, and that's why I thought he was dead. I don't remember. I know he got in finally as one of the first minority. You know, everybody looks at Marlon Briscoe, who ended up being a fantastic wide receiver, as the first minority quarterback, because he played shortly for the Denver Broncos. But it was Tom Flores. Tom Flores with the Raiders was the first minority quarterback in the history of the NFL. And Don Kessler texted me with the fact that I knew. He said, fun fact, Jim Plunkett's parents were blind. I didn't know that. And I believe they were Native Americans. Was he adopted? We need to just stop spreading vicious rumors. Just cut it out. 842-5376, 842-KERN. Well, now what's wrong?
Nothing. Randy came in and was talking about the guy on Netflix that's supposed to be climbing up this building. Apparently it got postponed.
Oh! How do you get into something like that? Just being a spelunker, I suppose?
Yeah,
Climbing rocks?
But then again, like, we don't really get this type of television anymore.
No. The
don't get
Evil
the-
Knievel-like stuff?
Yeah.
I loved Evil Knievel. He was a classic. He really was. 842-537-6842, KERN. Anything left on the board?
We got a couple more here. Let's see. Or actually, we just got one more here. They just sent us a picture. It says, Philadelphia slavery exhibits President's House removed Trump administration directive. And it says, what say you? It's a story that I'll have to print out for you.
Did he move the slave house? What did he do?
Something of that nature. I'm not sure exactly what the story is. Give me one sec.
Yeah, I'll have to read it. Meantime, let's recap our top story of the day. Sheriff Donnie Youngblood was our guest again. We've had him on a lot. We've had him on like 3 times in the last month or two, and he made us a celebrity 2 weeks ago when he came on and had to defend his deputies and essentially called Kathy Scrivener a liar when she denied telling her grandchildren not to talk to law enforcement. And unfortunately for Ms. Scrivener, it was caught on body cam. And the sheriff absolutely directly quoted Ms. Scrivener. There is a trustee, she's a trustee, and that school board trustee, and there's a meeting coming up in February. And I was wrong about the first meeting because it fell on the day that we broke the story when I predicted that it's going to be packed with folks demanding her resignation. But the meeting was at 6 o'clock that night. So nobody really knew about it. But once 17 and 23 picked up on the story, once the New York Post and the LA Times picked up on the story, Now it's got momentum. Everybody knows about it. And then Chad Vegas, a former KHSD trustee, came out and said that she should resign. And Shannon Grove, others are being vociferous about this. The charges should be filed against Ms. Scrivener for basically obstructing justice or tampering with a witness or whatever the charges are. Some should be leveled, in my opinion. But again, who would do that? You'd have to go out of county. Because just as Cynthia Zimmer is Zach Scrivener's aunt, she's Kathy Scrivener's sister. So who would prosecute Kathy Scrivener? We'd have to go to Fresno, Tulare, or God forbid, the Attorney General's office. Meantime, as we reported yesterday, attributing it to KGET 17, Assemblymember Jasmine Baines, who's in the midst of a congressional fight with David Valadao, erroneously implied that U.S. Attorney Eric Grant, who was here, took pictures with Cynthia Zimmer's staff, was here on her behest. The request that she made to the AG's office brought him here. Well, Sheriff Donnie Youngblood claims that's just not true.
The U.S. Attorney, I met with him yesterday, had nothing to do with the Scrivener case. The U.S. Attorney is relatively new. He was going to meet with the DA. He was going to meet with had met with the Chief of Police. Has absolutely nothing to do with the Scrivener case that I'm aware of.
Now, as I said, because he qualified that extremely well, Donnie Youngblood's no dummy, Jack. He really isn't. He's a very smart man. And he said that I'm aware of at the end of that sentence. Because I'm still a little skeptical. Why us? Why here? Why Kern County? There are 58 counties in this state. Why would he drag his behind, Mr. Grant? Oh, Mr. Grant. And revisiting our first hour, Chris Burdick is not familiar with the Mary Tyler Moore Show. How is that possible? Like, not even, I mean, obviously,
I'm aware.
Obviously, I was a child when Mary Tyler Moore first came on the air. So I get that. You weren't even a twinkle in your father's eye. But in
My
reruns,
father, I don't even think.
I'm older than your dad?
Yeah.
Holy Toledo. Don't ever say that again. That sucks. Anyway, you didn't see it on reruns, though?
No.
You've never seen one episode of Mary Tyler Moore?
Could not point one out, no.
Wow. I don't know why I'm amazed by that. I just am. Oh, Mr. Grant. Well, her boss was called Lou Grant, played by Ed Asner. And one of the go-to lines was Mary Tyler Moore saying, oh, Mr. Grant. It was a great show, Chris. And then there were several spinoffs from Mary Tyler Moore. There was Phyllis with Cloris Leachman, whose kids I went to high school with. There was Rhoda, which is a fairly successful show. I think it was on for like 5 or 6 years. And Lou Grant got his own show. And it was called The Lou Grant Show. And the scenario was, if you don't remember, or if you're not as old as I am, Lou leaves Minnesota and returns to his roots as a print reporter and is the managing editor of a fictional Los Angeles newspaper. And you guys remember who played the publisher? I don't remember her name, but she played Tony Soprano's mother. Please stand by. Hey Siri, what actress played Tony Soprano's mother?
Here's an answer from Wikipedia.
Nancy Marchand. She played Livia on The Sopranos. She was also Lou Grant's boss on the Lou Grant Show. She was the publisher of the newspaper. She was relatively young. She's probably in her 50s back then. This is probably early 80s. It was a great show. It really, really was. And I wasn't even a newspaper kid at the time. I think I was in college. And it's one of the few shows that gives you a background look at the newspaper business. But back to Sheriff Donnie Youngblood, I went and asked him, what did he think was the motivation of Jasmine Baines implying that she brought Eric Grant to Bakersfield?
I can't tell you what the Assemblywoman Baines is trying to do, but I can tell you I personally met with the U.S. Attorney and two other people, and the name Scrivener never came up.
I also asked the sheriff if he thought that perhaps either the AG or maybe on a federal level, that they would re-examine the Scrivener situation.
I can tell you that the FBI asked for the reports 2 or 3 weeks ago. I provided them to them. I didn't ask whether they were going to investigate it or not. In fact, I told them I didn't want to know. It's none of my business whether they are or they are not. You asked for the reports, here they are.
And final, I had to ask him about Kathy Scrivener and my speculation. Before we had the sheriff on, I speculated that had Kathy Scrivener simply just kind of walked away and not made a big deal out of it and sent an email to Channel 17 and put the sheriff in the position where he had to defend his deputies. Kathy Scrivener basically was calling the deputies liars who were saying that she told the grandchildren not to speak to them. She flatly denied it. And I asked, I speculated that had she not sent that thing to Channel 17 and put Donnie on blast, that whole thing may not have even erupted. Here's Donnie Youngblood.
I think had she not said anything, we wouldn't be where we're at.
That's exactly what I said.
Responded to what she said, we wouldn't be where we're at.
That's
So
exactly.
I have an obligation to the officers that work for me to defend their integrity and their honor when it's justified, and I will do that every time.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. I'm glad you agreed with me. I really don't think Kathy Scrivener is going to be charged with anything. But as I've said from the get-go, from the very, 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 very beginning, there won't be a Scrivener or a Zimmer that's elected. And I think that's a loss to this community because I think Cynthia Zimmer has been an outstanding district attorney. I really do. And I'll be forever in her debt and her staff for what I went through and how they dealt with my assailant and how quickly they brought him to justice. He did 2 years for sucker punching me in a restaurant, and I'll be forever in their debt. Do I think she could win if she ran again? No, I don't. And I'd probably vote for her, but I don't think she can win. I think the Scrivener thing taints everybody involved. I just hope it doesn't spill on Christina. She has a blooming political career, I believe. She is a board member on the Kern Community College District, but she might even get splattered with some shrapnel from this thing because this community is livid at the incompetence. And that's where the anger should be pointed at. It's not here in Kern County, not at Cynthia Zimmer. You heard the sheriff when he was with us a couple of weeks ago, absolutely exonerating her. And then like a week or two later, the Bakersfield Californian put it on top of their fold as a news story. And we had the sheriff on like a week before that saying the very same thing. It's amazing how behind that newspaper is. It's sad, so sad. But there's no way Kathy Scrivener, they're going to demand her resignation at the next meeting. And I don't know why I think I know these things. I don't know what I base this on. I really don't, because I don't know Kathy Scrivener that well. I drove to Taft with her. She drove me and Kathy Abernathy once to Taft when I hosted a baseball thing for Ron Say on the Taft baseball program. And I've talked to her a couple of times at campaign stuff, but I don't know her that well. But I have the feeling she ain't going to quit. I don't know what makes me say that. I just think she's going to be like, screw y'all. Because what can she do? Like backpedal the lie? What doesn't lie, Mr. Burdick? What doesn't lie?
Videos and audio.
And they've got her on camera. They've got audio of her saying it. There's no backing away from camera, audio, and video. I just don't see it. We'll follow this thing. Let's go ahead and take a break. We'll come back, check the board, talk a little sports. Which game is Saturday? What time is it? Which game is Sunday? What time is it?
They're both on Sunday.
They're both on Sunday?
They're both on Sunday.
Damn. And it's going to be 55 degrees Saturday. Dude, once I clean my tub, what am I going to do Saturday? I got nothing to do. The living room's clean. The kitchen's clean. But my tub, I got to do the bathroom. I got to do the sink, the toilet, and the bathtub. But I do have something to do tonight. Tell me what's back. Go ahead, tell me. Go ahead, tell me.
Oh, God, this is back. Love after lockout.
But it's the bad season. It's love during lockup, which isn't as good. Obviously. I'm addicted to a quote reality show called Love After Lockup, where these women and men hook up over the phone with prisoners, and then the reality show picks it up the day that the guy gets out of jail, and everything's hunky-dory for like 48 hours, and then mama's purse comes up missing. And of course, they ask the recent convict, did you steal mama's purse? Oh, like it's got to be me? It's got to be me? Well, baby, you did go away for burglary. You are good for the crime. It's a great series. It really is. Quick timeout. We'll come right back. It's TRBS on Friday, right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KRN. We're streaming live at KernRadio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Monday edition, Clay Travis, Buck Sexton Show. We will break down the absolute latest in the ongoing controversy surrounding ICE in Minneapolis and what is going to happen with Greenland. Plus, lots of news coming down with the huge winter storm sweeping across the nation. Is climate change defeated once and for all? We will discuss. Monday edition, Clay and Buck.
Live 9 to noon. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. Visit trustandwill.com for details.
Trust and Will.
My dad and I were always close, but some things we just didn't talk about, like his will. After he was gone, we found out he didn't have one, and it created a lot of stress during a time of grief.
Creating a will can be hard to think about, but avoiding it can lead to greater difficulty for the people you love. That's why Trust and Will makes estate planning simple. Create a will online in as little as 30 minutes.
Now, I have a will in place to make sure my loved ones are protected. With Trust and Will, it was easy and affordable, and I got peace of mind knowing my wishes are clear.
Trust and Will.
Get 20% off when you visit trustandwill.com/plan. That's trustandwill.com/plan to get 20% off. trustandwill.com/PLAN.
Between all the holiday parties,
Weekend tailgates.
and family get-togethers,
We've been overindulging a little more than usual over the holidays, but now we are starting the new year off on a healthier note by taking active liver supplements from New Nordic every day.
Active Liver contains a powerful blend of turmeric, milk thistle, and globe artichoke extract, all natural ingredients that help protect the liver so that it can protect you from toxins. It's like giving my body a daily detox. I've never felt better, and my energy is through the roof.
And my doctor is already impressed with how much better my numbers are looking. So if better health, more energy, and detoxing your body are some of your priorities this year, get Active Liver today and start the year off knowing you're giving your liver some well-deserved relief.
Active Liver is available online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com. Or pick some up today at your local CVS, ShopRite, Meijer Grocery. Are now available at Wegmans. New year, new you, new Nordic.
Are you looking for a hospital that truly cares for your health and well-being? At Good Samaritan Hospital, they provide high-quality medical detox, psychiatric services, and medical and surgical care. They accept most insurances, including Medi-Cal, Medicare, and Kern Family. They offer Kern County's longest-standing inpatient detox program with dual diagnosis that combines medical care and withdrawal management all under one roof. Learn more at GoodSamaritanHospital.com or call 661-215-7500. Good Samaritan Hospital. They care for their community.
Not again. This copier is always jamming.
We should call American Business Machines.
Since 1927, American Business Machines, an authorized Canon dealer, has been providing reliable office solutions. From state-of-the-art copiers to advanced printers, we ensure your business runs smoothly. Visit abm1.com or call us today at 1-877-YES-ABM1. That's 1-877-937-2261. American Business Machines, your trusted partner for all your office technology needs.
You're listening to The Ralph Bailey Show. Catch me weekday morning 6 to 9 a.m. on First Look with Scott Cox, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Yeah, we got to revamp the music. Absolutely revamp. All right, so both games are on Sunday.
Yep.
What times? Who's first?
New England and Denver are first
At
at noon,
noon. Okay.
and
okay.
then the LA Rams and Seattle game is at 3:30.
That's pretty close.
Oh, that's about right.
3.5 hours?
Yeah, 3.5 hours.
You know, I was thinking today, and maybe I was talking about this with Randy, or maybe I was talking about it with you or JR. I was talking about it with somebody. Can you imagine if Chicago had won?
In what way?
If they had won, if they had beaten the
Oh, I know,
Rams,
but what do you mean by that? Like,
that they'd be hosting the game in Chicago.
oh, true. Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Wait, no, they wouldn't.
Wouldn't they have home field?
No, they played the Rams, didn't they?
But if they had won,
Yeah, they were the 2 seed. Seattle's the 1 seed.
oh, so they would still have to go to Seattle?
Yeah, they would have gone to
Oh.
Seattle.
That ruins my whole my whole theory. I just thought it would have been fun to be in Chicago right now.
Yeah, no, it would
The
be. I
NFL
mean, don't get me wrong. Had they won, it still would have been fun to be in Chicago. But
The NFL is very lucky that that it's not New England, that no East Coast team, because you might have to cancel the games if they were on the East Coast.
yeah,
This storm ain't playing.
Schefter was saying that this morning. If this game was in Foxborough instead of Denver, it
Yeah.
would be a completely different animal. right
Yeah.
now.
And they're lucky to get it in Denver. I'm shocked that Denver's not socked in. This thing is serious. It's all throughout the South. It's all through Texas, Oklahoma. And the problem is it's hitting states like Oklahoma and Texas and communities that just don't spend a nickel on snow relief. Why would they? That was the issue in Atlanta when I was going to school there. And it snowed, I think, twice in the 4 years that I was there. And I told you the story how I got socked in at an airport hotel for like 2 or 3 days. And that's about all the snow, and the whole city shuts down because they just don't spend. You know how they ended up trying to clear up the snow when I was down there? By throwing salt on the ground.
I've heard that.
That's
yeah.
all they did. That was they didn't have snow plows. They didn't have any, they just threw, the city of Atlanta just threw salt on the ground. That was their thing. That's why the city was literally shut down for like a day and a half. Like literally no one was on the roads for a day and a half because the real problem is ice. You can get through snow. I've driven in snow. Hell, I've driven in snow here, actually, here in Bakersfield. Because I had a morning show and I wasn't smart enough not to come to work like the entire radio station that I was working for at the time. Chris Porphyry or Chris Townsend and I were doing a morning show together. And we were about the only one. We started at 5 a.m. So I didn't know not to come to work. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. I got up. I noticed that it was kind of bright outside. I was like, how can it be bright at 3:30 in the morning? And I opened my drapes and I'm like, good God Almighty, it has snowed in the great state of California. And so I just jumped in my car. I was driving a Saturn back then. Jumped in my Saturn and went to work. Traversed through the light snow. It wasn't that bad, unless you slammed on brakes like I did when I was trying to get off on Pegasus, and I ended up going perpendicular down the I-99 north. So scared. I think I even went underneath no, I don't think. I was scary. And then I, like an idiot, I was going to go forward because I was on the northbound lanes. There was nobody on the freeway. Literally, no. I was laying the tracks down, literally. And I almost went forward going north to Lerdo to turn around. And I was just like, why am I doing this? And I went southbound on the northbound and got off with Pegasus. But last half hour of the week. What are you doing tomorrow? I got nothing to do tomorrow. I can't play golf. I'm going to get up early and handle the bathroom. That's a 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock deal.
True.
I don't like to. I'm the laziest son of a gun you'll ever meet, and I'm the biggest slob you'll ever meet, which is a horrible combination. But when I clean, I do it first thing in the morning. First thing in the morning. Because if I don't, I know Ralph Bailey. After 6 decades, I know Ralph Bailey. If I wait till the afternoon, it'll never get done. Somebody suggests, what should I do tomorrow?
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Freezing rain fell in parts of Texas on Friday as a huge days-long winter storm began a trek that threatened to bring snow, sleet, ice, bone-chilling temperatures, and extensive power outages to about half the U.S. population. Forecasters warn that catastrophic damage, especially in areas pounded by ice, could rival that of a hurricane. The U.S. military says it's carried out a deadly strike on a vessel accused of trafficking drugs in the eastern Pacific Ocean, the first since the raid that captured Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro earlier this month. U.S. Southern Command said Friday on social media that the boat was engaged in narco-trafficking operations and that the strike killed 2 people and left 1 survivor. More details at srnnews.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
The gas leak in Wasco is under control, say authorities there. It caused people to have to be evacuated this morning after an oil well fire near the Wasco Kern County Airport. That's because methane, which is highly dangerous, was affecting the air around the fire and the subsequent leak. The Alan Booth trial will continue Tuesday with the defense presenting their case. This is his misdemeanor DUI trial. Right after this is the felony trial in which Booth is accused of driving at 3 times the legal limit and running into several people at the Bakersfield Christmas parade in 23. A 78-year-old man in an electric wheelchair was hit and killed just before 6 last night on Lake Isabella Boulevard in Lake Isabella. Police say the driver was cooperating. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on FM 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Come see one of the top teams in the AHL as the Condors continue their chase for the top spot in the Pacific Division tonight against Colorado. It's adult jersey giveaway with the first 2,500 fans 18 and older getting a replica Condors jersey. Plus, it's $3 Beer Friday with Michelob Ultra and Mango Cart just $3 from doors open through the start of the second period. Presented by Eyewitness News and SC Architect. Doors open at 6. The puck drops at 7. Fun starts at just $15 at CondorsTown.com or by calling 324-PUCK. This is Condorstown.
We've all been there. Sleepless nights, mind racing, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Video security, burglar alarms, fire alarms, access control, 24/7 monitoring, and more. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy, knowing we're here for you, your people, and your business. Visit bayalarm.com to talk to a local security expert. Bay Alarm, we got you.
Monday's Armstrong and Getty showed just how bad and disruptive was the winter storm. Also, did we go to war with Iran? We might.
And I, for one, just hope that Scott Bessent and Gavin Newsom's cat fight continues. It's some of the funniest stuff I've heard in a very long time. Regardless, we will bring you the news of the day without left-wing media spin as we do every day on the next Armstrong and Getty show.
Weekdays noon to 2 on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm JR Flores. Catch my show, The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m.
WWE and UFC to watch.
Are you kidding?
No.
What?
During the day, sir.
During the day?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything going on tomorrow other than the Australian Open?
Basketball.
Hoops? I can't watch the NBA right now. I have no interest in the NBA. I don't know what NBC was thinking. I really don't. And I had no idea that they were playing these games during the week, Tuesdays and Wednesday nights.
Oh, yeah.
I had no idea.
They're already halfway through the season.
And did you hear that
trade deadline's 2 weeks away?
Charles Barkley is not happy at the Entertainment Sports Programming Network? He's already whining about the conditions over at ESPN. Chuck! There's no pleasing Chuck. He is a funny, funny man. And he knows he's got ESPN by the short hairs. Because they ain't firing that group. They just aren't. I rarely get to see them because I don't know when these games are on. You know what I mean? When they were on TNT.
That was every Tuesday and Thursday.
Yes. But now I don't know when they're on ESPN. 842-5376. 842-KERN. Who you got?
Chris Orr.
Chris, what's really going on?
Good afternoon, Ralph Bailey. How are you?
I am outstanding, sir. How are you?
I am well. I will hopefully by next week or the week after that have a full schedule, but I am currently wheeling my way down to Valencia for our first preseason lacrosse game.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. In this weather, is it going to be a little chilly down? Well, I guess in Valencia it's not. It was a warm day here, too. I forgot.
I played lacrosse in New England, so I've played in the weather they're about to get hit with.
Yeah, okay.
But close, so. Yeah, no, it should be perfect. Upper 50s. Once they get running around, I'm sure they'll appreciate that it's 50-something degrees and not 85 degrees out. So.
Yeah. How do you transport the kids down there?
They have to drive because we're club. You know, they have to. Their parents.
So the parents, yeah.
They're old enough to drive. Yeah, a bunch of guys that have to drive license to allow them to drive themselves as well. So.
Oh, okay. All right. And who are you taking on?
Actually, Valencia High School. Before the CIF doesn't start for 3 weeks, so prior to the CIF season, the high schools are allowed to play at conference. You know, non-CIF stuff.
Right.
So we've got tonight, and then a week from tomorrow, we're playing 3 different schools down in Simi Valley.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, get us a copy of the schedule, and I'm not going to let you down this year. I've been promising for years. I'm not going to let you down this year.
I think, I'm pretty sure we're going to open because we usually do our first game, you know, our regulation game against, you know, the Rams.
Right.
And finish with the Rams. I believe February 28th, that's the Saturday, is going to be that game. So just kind of ink it in there.
All right. Very good. Very good. Well, good luck today, man. Be careful.
Hey, thank you so much. Hey, have a wonderful weekend and all the programming. Chris's show, JR's show, your show. Your station does a wonderful job keeping us entertained and informed.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate the love.
All right.
Hey. Our friend Chris Orr. You should make a promo out of that. In fact, let's not do a promo tonight. Can you just cut that up?
You can try.
Oh, sounds
Long as
good.
it's short enough, yeah, I can make it.
Yeah, it was kind of short, though, wasn't it?
I could probably make it work, though.
Speaking of dates, remember the date, March 23rd, the 4th annual Honor Flight Open at Bakersfield Country Club, presented by our friends at Sangera Subaru, and we've got some other sponsors that are getting involved. But if you'd like to become a sponsor, just go to honorflightopen.com, or if you'd like to participate and don't procrastinate, don't do the Bakersfield thing and wait till the last minute. This thing filled up big time last year. We had a lull the year before, but last year we had almost too many groups. So don't wait till the last minute if you want to play in this thing. It's a fun event, and all the proceeds go towards Honor Flight, Kern County, and community partners. And of course, I pray to God you all know what Honor Flight is all about, where they send veterans of all wars, any veteran, whether you participated in combat, whether you were sent to Trenton, New Jersey, or Saigon, you're a veteran, you are going to be honored, and Honor Flight sends these men and women back to Washington, D.C. to see their respective memorials, depending on whether it was the Korean War, World War II Memorial, Vietnam, the Wall, very dramatic, very dramatic day for the veterans. And of course, we've got our fundraiser coming up in the fall as well. In 9 years, we've raised close to $350,000 $1,000 for Honor Flight. And as I've said redundantly, it is the single proudest thing I've ever done in my career, my association with Honor Flight and the money that we've raised, the money that you all have helped us raise over the 9 years, and just being affiliated with the veterans and being able to tell their stories. I mentioned earlier, and heads exploded, but that I was backing up from Honor Flight. I did not mean the golf tournament, nor did I mean the fundraiser. I've just gone on 7 flights on Honor Flight, and I just think it's time for me to kind of step back and maybe let JR fly. And part of that decision was based on what you all know about me. Flying is a pain in the ass for me. It really is a phobia. I mean, just you can ask the Honor Flight people. You know, when we get to the airport and we're leaving Baltimore, Salty, Jeff Salters, who does not drink, accompanies me to the bar. I need 2 or 3 cocktails to get on a plane. And this last flight, where they told us we're leaving at 4 o'clock, and Salty and I and a badass Marine by the name of Aaron Branch, we were all having cocktails. Salty doesn't drink. He was having his iced tea. And they tell us, Chris, because of the winds, the plane is too heavy and we can't make it to Bakersfield, so we have to stop in Wichita, Kansas. Now, I have a phobia of flying already. So they had me at the storm. First, they told us about the storm. So now I'm scared to death. And then they tell us, not only is there a storm, but the storm and our weight prevents us from going straight to Bakersfield. We're going to stop in Wichita. And I'm telling you, even Kevin Charette went out of his way to talk to me and say, Ralph, it's really not that bad a storm. And I'll never forget that, and never, ever, I'm very appreciative of him, because I heard later that he was saying, this is kind of serious, I'm a little nervous. But he lied to me to calm my nerves. I was a nervous wreck. I truly was. So I shan't be going there. I might go, maybe a year from now or 2 years from now, depending if I'm still here. But just for now, I just, I just feel out of place sometimes on that flight as well. You know what I mean? Because I don't have a guardian. I'm just kind of an observer. And thirdly, it's kind of a pain. It's not easy doing that broadcast, because on the first day, the big day that we broadcast, first we get in late. So the show starts at 3. I'm in a bus coming from Baltimore to DC. We don't fly into DC. Honor Flight flies into Baltimore. We take a bus ride. It's about 45 minutes, and it's normally right around 4 or 5 o'clock on the East Coast. So it's bumper to bumper traffic, even trying to get into Washington. One would think that the traffic would be leaving DC at closing time, but there's even traffic going into the Capitol. And so I'm on a bus for the first half hour of the show, and then I have to run and hurry and call Chris and get the equipment set up. And then the second day, we don't get back from seeing the monuments till about 6 o'clock Pacific time, East Coast time. So I'm scrambling to get back to the hotel. And, that's how my nickname Running Ralph got enshrined. It began with me missing the bus one day and having to run through the hotel. But then on the last trip, it was about 5 to 6, and we were a couple of blocks away from the hotel in traffic. And I just said, I got to get out. And I ran to the hotel a couple of blocks just to be on, start the show at 6. So it's not an easy trip for me. And I just want to take a break a little bit. But again, Honor Flight Open, March the 23rd. Sign up now. Just go to honorflightopen.com. Let's go ahead and take our final break of the week. Anybody got any suggestions what I can do tomorrow? I guess I could wait till the afternoon when it kind of warms up and go hit balls. I guess I could do that. Although the high, Mr. Burdick, the high is 56. That's cold for a brother from LA. I'm sorry. That's cold. But I don't want to sit out. It's going to be sunny. I just don't want to sit in my apartment. Because I'll have the tub, the sink, and the toilet done by 9 o'clock. By 9 o'clock.
Oh.
I get up at 7. I'll tool around. I'll get started at 8. I'll knock it out in an hour. Because like I said, if I have breakfast and lay around and watch TV and say, I'll get it this afternoon, I know Ralph Emerson Bailey Jr. It won't get done. If I don't do it as soon as I get up, won't get done. Laziest slob you've ever met in your life. Right here. Fire break of the night. Keep it locked. Right here on Newstalk 96.1 and AM 1180 KRN, where we stream live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Start your day right. First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Monday edition of the First Look program, we'll have a recounting of the Seahawks' huge win over the Rams. I mean, we knew they'd win, but not by that much. We'll talk jobs with America's Job Center at Kern. We got the hot list coming up, plus news, traffic, and weather. It's all happening 6 to 9 a.m. right here at News Talk 96.1 and streaming live on the internet at kernradio.com.
First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Hey folks, Scott Cox here for Sangera Subaru. I can't believe it's 2026, but here we are, and I say it's time to relax after all the holiday hustle and bustle. But obviously, there's a but coming. There always is. But for my buddies over at Sangera, they are ramping up for 2026 with some incredible lease offers on new Subarus, like a new 2025 Crosstrek Premium CVT. Now through February 2nd, you can lease one for just $149 a month. That's right, a 2025 Crosstrek for just $149 a month for 36 months with $5,100 due at signing. And of course, every Subaru comes standard with symmetrical all-wheel drive, get you where you're going every time. This offer does end on February 2nd, so stop by and see Damon and Hassan and the whole gang. Pick out your Crosstrek and drive home in a brand new Subaru in 2026. Sangera Subaru, paving the way for a better community. 5500 Gasoline Alley Drive in the Bakersfield Auto Mall.
Through February 2nd, 2026, lease a 2025 Crosstrek Premium CVT model code SRD-14 for $149 a month on a 36-month lease. $5,100 due at lease signing plus tax and license. Zero security deposit. 10,000 mile per year limit. 15 cents per mile overage. MSRP $32,688. VIN number SH325603. Financing for well-qualified buyers only. Subject to credit approval. Offer ends 2/2/26. My bad. You're ready whenever, or you're good whenever you're ready.
Say what?
Promo.
Oh, Lord have mercy. You ready? 3, 2. I can tell you what motivated Jasmeet Baines to imply that the U.S. Attorney, Eric Grant, came here at her behest. She's in the middle of a congressional fight with David Valadao and wants to get credit for shining new light on the Zach Scrivener case. I actually hope she's right and can do so, but she ain't beating David Valadao. 3, 2. It's that man again. Look what's coming up on the Monday TRBS. Well, we'll talk with Dr. Jeet Singh, the finest cardiologist in the land. And it's a Monday. Kathy Abernathy will be with us. And we will have our Super Bowl matchup. All that, me at 3. It's TRBS. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KRN. I'll see you Monday.
I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
This is McGruff the Crime Dog, and I need you to help me take a bite out of crime. Counterfeit products are popping up everywhere. Fake sneakers, fake cosmetics, and even fake pills. Crooks are selling counterfeit versions of just about everything. Last year, billions of dollars worth of counterfeit products were sold in the U.S. Sure, it may seem like saving a few bucks on the things you want isn't a big deal, but counterfeits are usually made in unsafe conditions. potentially using hazardous and even lethal ingredients that could harm you and others. And the money you paid, it goes right into the hands of criminals and may support child labor, drugs, and even gangs. Smells like big crime to me. So if you still think buying fake products is harmless, think again. And remember, if you don't know where the products came from, how could you know where the money goes? You're smart, buy smart. Go for real. Learn more at mcgruffpsa.org. This message is brought to you by the United States Patent and Trademark Office and the National Crime
The
Prevention
Armstrong
Council.
and Getty Show, weekdays noon to 2 on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey
Chicago. Wrapping up the broadcast on this Friday, 23rd day of the new year. Chris Orr texted me. I sat next to you on that flight. I can attest to your lack of being happy about the whole process. That's funny. I did sit next to him. And our late veteran who was 100 years old, Billy, Chris, I'm forgetting his last name, but you don't have to text me with it. But Billy Burke. I sat next to them. And yeah, I was a little nervous. And then right across the aisle from us, one of our veterans got ill, and Deanna Salyards and Aaron Branch had to come to his rescue. So that was kind of dramatic. And yeah, because I'm okay at 35,000 feet, even though, did you hear about the plane that got hit by some material they don't know what it was hit by and that forced them to land? I think it was a LA to East Coast flight, and they got struck by they don't know what, and they had to stop in like Denver or Salt Lake City or
The
something.
more and more I hear about these stories, the more and more I'm just like, I'll just drive.
I'm telling you, I was good till I was about 15, because I flew a lot, even as a young kid. After, we used to drive back and forth across country, to be honest with you, when my dad was broke. My mother was the breadwinner throughout the 60s when my dad was in the Navy. My mother was an operator. Literally, do you even know what an operator is, Chris? Have you ever talked to an operator?
Well, I've never talked to an operator, but I know what an operator is.
You have never talked to an operator?
No, I've never had to.
Wow.
When did they stop doing operator stuff?
I
was
know.
born in 93.
I think they still had operators. Well, born, you were a little child, but yeah, they still had operators in the 90s. Operators were essential for me because I would call home from Atlanta, collect call from Ralph Bailey. I remember once my mother was mad at me and she didn't accept my call. I'll never forget that. I think it was after my dad found out that I wasn't registered.
So to pay for it?
I didn't call him back. Oh no, I did. I was calling for money, so I had to call back. You're right. I paid for it. And Danny got mad at me. My roommate got mad at me because it ended up in an argument. So I was on the phone for like 20, 30 minutes with my parents. And like a couple of weeks later, the late Jake Daniel Gunn, one of the greatest human beings I ever met, cursed me out. Dude, you were doing long distance, 20, 30 minutes? Have you heard of collect call? I said, my parents are pissed at me, so they didn't accept it. Well, then write him a letter. Because Danny kind of was like, we handle the bills. Because Danny was independently wealthy. That was my best year at Morehouse College, my junior year with living with Danny Gunn. As I've talked about this guy constantly. You've heard me talk about him. He was independently wealthy. His dad passed away at a young age. Unfortunately, Danny followed right in his dad's footsteps. And I don't think because he was ill. I think Danny, he was my roommate that kind of liked the yayo. He liked that cocaine. It was sad. And like I've always said, I was just fortunate. Yes, I tried it. And I thank God I did not like it. But Danny's stockbroker was my alarm clock. His stock person would call us literally on Sundays at 6 a.m. every day at 6 a.m. And he and Danny would talk for about 15 minutes. But yeah, that was great. Yeah, I told you, Danny footed the bill for my friend to come from Boulder, Colorado to Atlanta. That was great. He had dough. So our bills, he kind of is such a cool guy because I was always broke. And so he paid like maybe 60-40, 70-30 of the bills. And that's why he was so upset because he kind of paid the phone bill. And I would chip in for the PG&E, or in Atlanta, I think it's Georgia Power. Great guy, Daniel Gunn. I'll never forget that my mother turned down a collect call from me. Harriet's a badass. Anything on the board before I go home and eat my broiled chicken? God, you should see my diet these days, Chris. Ugh. I'm so freaked out about my A1C going up. I had an egg salad sandwich on brown bread from Bonnie's Best. I normally get that as a package with chips and a Snapple.
Can't do that no more.
Can't do that. So I just got the sandwich and 2 waters. And tonight I'm having, what's that chicken place I go to? Compañero?
Loco?
No, Compañero, whatever it's called. No, I can't do rice. I can't do that anymore. The El Pollo Loco thing that I loved with the avocado and the chicken and the rice and the beans. Can't do rice anymore. I'm going to bring down my A1C. I'm not going to be in the 6s. I'm just not. I'm not going to do it. I'm getting back in the 5s. I'm not going to die young. Doing my best. What do you got?
You can write your novel after you clean your tub. This is a good point.
Write my novel. Where would I begin? I just used my password to get on the computer today. I was writing some stuff that I have to do. I haven't done that in a long time. I haven't been on the computer in a long time. What else you got?
What are you guys talking about? It's going to be 7 degrees in Denver on Sunday.
Is it really?
It's still going to be pretty cold, but I mean, Foxborough is worse right now.
Yeah. Ain't going to be snow. It ain't going to be sleet. It's not going to be icy. Is it really going to be? Hey, Siri, show me the weather in Denver, Colorado.
It's currently cloudy and 14 degrees in Denver, Colorado. Today's high.
It is going to be freezing. Wow. Do you think I can get off the New England bet? I'm not feeling good about my New England bet. You think I could call Chet and say, hey, you take all of the bet. We split it. We won money with Indiana, with Miami. Well, actually, Indiana, because we got on early and we covered. And I just said, keep it and put it on New England. Would that be crappy if I called him and just said, you just take the whole thing? I don't want to have anything to do with it. Is that a crappy thing to do with a friend?
I wouldn't necessarily say that, but
it's 250.
I would say
it's 250. We both won 250. So he would have to pony up 500 if he loses, as opposed to 250.
Oh, well then, yeah. If he hasn't ponied up the money, then yeah. But if he held on to the cash that you gave him,
exactly, that's what I was saying. He hasn't paid me, so there's 250 in the bank.
Nah, and if you told him, man, just hold on to it, never mind, don't worry about it. Like, you can just keep the money. Then I don't see it as a big deal.
But could I still bet Denver?
No. I mean, you could, but
because it would be like a push. Is there any way I could win both ways? No. No, because the line hasn't moved. It's still 4.5. I am so tempted to I walk away from that New England bet and take Denver on the money line. But I don't want to mush you, Chris. But I am so tempted. Do you know what the money line is? It's got to be what? 1 to win 150, 175 maybe. Might even be 2 to 1. Might be 100 to win 200 on the straight money line. I don't know. Let me see if I can beat you. Hey, Siri.
Money line.
What's the money line bet on Denver, New England?
Okay, I found this on the web for what's the money line bet on Denver, New England. Check it out.
Anything?
Let's see. Negative 225 for the Patriots, plus 180 for the Broncos.
So 100 to win 180. See, I like the money line. But if I take Denver and they lose, you're going to blame me. You're going to blame me. You mushed me, Bailey. You mushed me. Why didn't you take New England like you said? We'll find out on Monday. In the meantime, have a wonderful weekend. For Chris Burdick, I'm Ralph Bailey. That's what's really going on. We'll wrap to you Monday.
This is AM 1180 KERN Green Acres. This is 96.1 FM Bakersfield. Online at KERNradio.com.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Tens of thousands of people gathered in Washington, D.C. today for the 53rd Annual March for Life. Vice President J.D. Vance expressed the Trump administration's support for the march and for the cause of life.
For the thousands of men and women and children, for the church groups, the school groups, the grandparents and the toddlers, and everyone in between who braved this chilly Washington afternoon. All of us in the Trump administration, from the president on down, we thank you for your prayers, we thank you for your perseverance, and we thank you that for today, we are all marching for life.
Vance said there's still much to be done to limit abortion. Well, we've been warned, and now much of the nation is bracing for the impact of a dire winter storm. Correspondent Donna Warder reports.
Severe weather is about to hit much of the United States.